I need to get summoned to Karga. 6 gold seems like for everyone. There's just Shangar. If there's anything else I need to do. Who am I trading? Probably group leader. First, Miles, for some reason it shows up as second on my chat. Trade. You guys respect this? I just paid 6 gold for a summon to Karga. 6 gold is so much gold. Do I care? Nope. Don't care. That's guild money. The lime green hat return. It was time. Let me put my other gear on. This is my resto set, guys. I'm a hybrid player with dual spec at level 40. Obviously. I'm playing resto with no Swiftmen because I forgot to take the talent point. But when I hit 41, I will have Swiftmen. This is my feral gear. Nice. Okay, that is all my feral gear. Except my helmet. There we go. I can show you guys my gear. My gear's pretty good. TBC. Anyway. Gonna need to be hybrid if you're big in the Herod raid roster. Dude, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get into Herod. Unfortunately, though, I believe... I'm pretty sure I've decided on my alt. And what that means is I will not be playing the Druid second. I've thought about it. And I'm going to level my Warrior second. So, took a lot of thought to come to that conclusion, but I am going to be doing that. So we're going to turn that in. Broken alliances. Speaking with Gonzala. Dude, I need to stay off the Gonzala, if you know what I mean. Hey, dude, some things never change, man. Doesn't matter what version of Classic is, there's 70,000 people killing rock elementals. Seems like it's always going to be the same. And that's about to be me, too. I noticed they add a lot of little... I already need the frost oil. I didn't bring that. I'll get that in a second. Go talk to this guy. This quest with all my heart? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I probably am still going to try and do it because I want to do the reagent run. Badlands reagent run. I just need 5 rock elemental shards. I don't know if I'll do that quest, though. The 10 small stone shards. Because I can get the 5 elemental rock shards from anything. And then I can do the... Because I don't need to do every quest. I don't need to do all of the cringe stuff. I just want to do the Badland reagent run because it leads to Ultimate quest. Alright, I need to abandon something else. I'll abandon this for now. Happy to have you in the tragic family. Yeah, crazy. Crazy developments in tragic. Where's your tank spec with Warden? I don't want to play tank, man. I want to heal or cat. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, and I know I'm kind of not. Dude, I'm trying everything in the book. Everything I do for Prot Warrior, I swear Bear is just completely useless. Like, genuinely. I don't know what to tell you. I physically cannot hold threat. No matter what I do, I physically cannot hold threat in a leveling dungeon of any mob. If I am, look, I'm Bear. I have the threat talents. I guess this is a big talent, but, you know. Pretend I have one more point in it. But I have the threat talent. I genuinely cannot hold threat off a mage pressing Blizzard. In a single target mob. If there are 5 mobs, and a mage starts Blizzarding, I lose all 5. I can't hold one mob. I cannot hold a single mob on my bear. I might as well not even be there. So when I've been doing dungeons, I don't even pretend to go in bear, man. Even if we don't have a tank, I don't go in bear. Because I do a lot of damage in cat. With this shred thing, dude, I do so much damage as cat. So I just go in cat for him. But I am literally, it is impossible for me to tank anything. So this character is not a tank. And I don't intend for it to be a tank at high level. I am always going to be the type of player that has the flexibility to off-spec into something, but this is supposed to be a restoration druid. This is not supposed to be a feral druid. I'm currently feral for leveling, but like feral cat. I'm not I haven't been playing bear much. I've tried, and believe me, it's completely useless. Bear druid, I don't know. I just got dire bear form. Maybe that'll help. But it's been like, again, I cannot hold threat of a single mob. Not a single one. Yeah, so I'm here right now. Badlands. Goal is to prepare for Uldaman and run Uldaman ASAP. They changed the level for Uldaman. So it's time. It's Uldaman time real soon. I do need this quest. Another thing I didn't realize. Dude, look at this. Does this seem fair to you guys? Why did no one tell me how broken cat is? Like, I get that I have a rend buff, but that's not even... A lot of my damage is not even coming purely from autos. Even if I didn't have the rend buff. This is just how I level. You run up to something. You jump in stealth. You move very fast in cat. Double pounce, double shred. Dude, this pounce move lets you shred twice. Look how much damage this thing does. Pounce dot is at 200 damage. It's like they gave feral cat cheap shot and garrote at the same time. And it does so much damage. And lets you double shred. Like, cats just own things. Like, look at this. The mob hasn't even touched me. It's at 40% health. Every single time. Crazy. Actually insane. Yeah, you need that mangle. Dude, I know, but, like, I don't know. Was bear always... How does a classic bear hold threat? That's, I guess, my question. I don't remember it being that bad. But, like, I physically was incapable of, like, doing leveling dungeons, dude. Like, genuine. There was no point at which me playing bear seemed useful at all. Like, I did, like, RFC as a bear. And I still felt completely useless. And that my threat wasn't very good. But, like, I kind of felt like it was playable. But after RFC, no dungeon felt like me going bear did anything. Anyway, what level did you RFD? I did RFD at 37 because you need to be 37 to do RFD. Do not do RFD before 37. The reason you need to be 37 is because there's a quest called Bring the End. It is bugged on TBC to require you to be 37, even though the last boss is 37. So you have to be 37 to even start the quest. So yeah, you have to be 37. Isn't feral tank's most threat? They're talking about single target tanking at level 70, man. And I'm level, you know, I'm level 40. And it's terrible. Dude, I don't remember it being that bad, though. So I'm sure it's not that bad because I played a lot of bear in TBC as like an alt. So I'm sure it gets better at 70 even for dungeons and stuff. But oh my god, at low level, it is so much worse than I remember. It is so much worse than I remember. Crazy. Use that, loving the hat, thank you. Best 3-target tank at 70, to be fair. Hey, man, we'll see about that. Prot Warrior. Hey, by Prot Warrior, I'm telling you, all I can say, folks, I'm playing a Prot Warrior, and then I play Bear. And when I play Prot Warrior, I feel useful in a dungeon, and I feel like my class is good. And I play Feral Bear, and I feel completely useless. So I don't know if I don't know if something bugged in the TBC code or what's going on, but while leveling, my bear has felt completely useless. And something ain't right. But I'm assuming it's just low level stuff. And it's just been a long time, I guess, since I've been a bear at level 40 trying to tank something. But man, is it... I can't describe you how useless I am. Completely useless. But cat, I'm going crazy. Doing a lot of damage as cat. So like for the Uldaman, for example, I'm either going to heal it or I'm going to go cat. I am not going to tank it. And there's so many paladins and warriors. Dude, these groups, it's so crazy. It's every single player signs up as DPS, but they're a plate class. So I invite them and they just don't move. It's so funny. Like I was healing and we had an enhanced shaman. We had a DPS warrior and we had a rep paladin. And I have to pull for them as a resto shaman or a resto druid because they physically will not move their characters forward because they're not the tank. It doesn't matter if everyone's full health. It doesn't matter if everyone's full mana. It doesn't matter if we've been in the dungeon for 10 minutes and they somehow still haven't realized that they're supposed to be the tank, or at least I'm not even gonna, hey, you don't have to hold threat. Just attack some stuff. I don't care, dude. It's leveling. But yeah, I keep finding myself in these groups with 4 male DPS players that just don't attack anything. It's like me and 3 paladins and a warrior, and they are just afraid to pull. It is crazy. I forgive them, though. It's all about forgiveness in this world. I think, you know, Dr. Luther was onto that way before anyone else. But so I'm just doing some quests in Badlands to prepare for Uldaman. Dude, the level changes for some of the dungeons are still kind of crazy to me. Like right now I'm killing trogs at level 40. Isn't it kind of crazy that these are higher level mobs than in the dungeon in the zone? The last boss in Uldaman is 40. Maybe I should focus on those rock elementals, though. Yeah, I think I gotta skip that quest. I'm just gonna protect my own sanity, and I am going to skip Study of Elements rock. I'm just not gonna do it. I'm gonna kill the rock elementals over here that are less contested. This guy's just marching alone, man. Where's the rest of the group? Dude, how broken is Cat, though? The crazy thing about Cat is I have so much bleed damage, too. I just don't even need to press it. Like, look, I can bleed and just run. You just usually don't need to press it because everything dies too fast. Oh, I don't have thorns up. Need to get my thorns out, guys. I don't have any buffs up. My bad. Broken Alliance's pre for Cat should run get that chest. I mean, I have to kill the dragon, but it's what? No longer elite, I'm guessing. I just need to find the patrol. That guy was part of the patrol, but it's like desynced or whatever because somebody killed the rest of the patrol. But I'll keep an eye on the boss Thogrun. The dragon is not elite, but the mobs around are. Yeah, there's a lot of... I'll be... Hey, I'm a big Burning Crusade fan, but it is insane the amount of things they screwed up. Converting Classic to TBC. I still think the game is good and in a good state. Like, it's fun to play. But it is insane the amount of things they screwed up. Who's gonna bait Zad into ranting about Wrath today? Nah, dude, I'm chill. Just happy, healthy, high. That's kind of my motto. We still have shared mob spawns in 2026. Oh, I don't mind, dude. I don't mind the shared mobs, if I'm gonna be completely honest. I really don't mind the shared mobs at all. I like killing extra mobs. The Plague Dogs, what Western Plaguelands, the wolves. See, I don't mind that because I just go to the top of Western Plaguelands. I just start killing a bunch of spiders, and I feel like they respawn pretty fast. And because everybody leaves all the spiders up, you just have. I just feel like it's real simple. You know, it takes a little longer, but in the world of Classic, at least, I think the XP makes it okay. Now, the thing about TBC, though, I will say this about TBC. I almost feel weirdly pressured, and I'm just so used to Classic. The thing about TBC leveling, it makes me a little feel weird of like, dude, I can't like do all the zones. I'm like getting too much XP. I feel like I'm always worried about being too over leveled. Like, for example, right now I'm 40. That is the highest cutoff for Uldaman in Atlas of like, that's the last boss. Like, everything is 40 and under in Uldaman. So like I feel this pressure of like, dude, I gotta do Uldaman like quick or I'm gonna get too high level. And because they made the boosting changes, if you show up to Uldaman at level 43 and the first mobs in the dungeon are gray to you, you're actually griefing the entire group completely. So like you genuinely cannot invite, like I did it once in Nomer because I just couldn't fill the group. You cannot invite people to your dungeon groups that are too high because they're going to completely grief your XP. So that's the biggest thing about TBC I've noticed. Yeah, your XP is completely griefed and by the high level players, but at the same time, it's really easy to be over leveled for dungeons just because I mean how the game plays out. Like right now I'm 40. I still have not entered Dustwallow Marsh. I still have a ton of Arathi Highlands quests. And I still have a lot of STV quests around like 37, 38. And so I am going to, yeah, I'm going to have to not do all of it. But at the same time, like, I kind of want to do all of it. See, these guys are a little too high for me. But I mean, maybe I just kill them anyway. I'll see if I can find the elementals that are like 42. Give me DSD Prio purely by DPS gain. Where's Rep Paladin on list? I mean, I don't remember, man. It's been a long time. Who knows these days? All I remember is back in my day, it was Rogue and Warrior that gained the most. Who knows if the class discords have made up propaganda to change that list? But back in my day, it was Rogue and Warrior used it the longest and gained the most. Rhett over Hunter question mark. I don't know, man. I feel like both sometimes. I don't know what's the deal with Rhett in the very end of the game. Does Rhett still use it? Because Hunters a lot of times don't use it if they get the Sunwell trinket. I don't know if that really matters though. Sunwell is so late. Either way, you just want to try and get everyone DST. Your guild should be trying to run like split gruels. Who cares? Dude, in 2026, we're still talking about loot. Crazy I used to care about that. I've evolved beyond loot. They gain more technically. Yeah. Wonder if Bay Floyd would have been saying that back in 2021 if he wasn't playing Rep Paladin. Interesting. Both of them swapping Sunwell? Yeah, that's what I thought. Anyway. What if the Hunter's melee weaving, guys? What about Enhance? Enhance? Unlucky, dude. Unlucky for Enhancement Shaman. But hey, Tsunami Talisman looks great in the hands of an Enhancement Shaman. Trust me, guys. They're going to like it more than DST. It has a cooler icon, in my opinion. So I would always recommend, like... It's just important, I feel like, for an Enhancement Shaman to appreciate Tsunami Talisman. Nothing matters in this game except loot if you're DPS. True. I mean, but loot also does not matter. It's all, you know, it's all mental. But that's why, I mean, that's still why we play the game. I say we. I don't play the game for loot. I've evolved beyond it, but most people do. Dude, Tsunami Talisman, man. Oh my gosh. If I was an Enhancement Shaman, I would want Tsunami Talisman so bad. Anyone else agree? But you don't play DPS. You get free loot as a tank. Hey, not anymore, dude. The days of corrupt loot council are over. I'm going to be rolling on tier gear with everyone else. I'm not getting anything. In fact, I'm probably loot banned. I'm probably self-imposing a loot ban to appeal to the masses. I don't know, dude. Am I ever genuinely going to roll on a piece of tier in TBC? Am I ever doing that? It's awkward, too, because, like, I guess I'd roll against some classes if their tier sucked, but, like... Yeah, am I ever rolling on a piece of tier? Because I'm playing Pro Warrior. And I can just get PvP gear. I mean, every tier would be nice to have a couple pieces of, like, Fury tier. But I could probably just use, like, a last phase. You're twisting with Righteous Fury on Gruul. Hey, all I'm saying is you don't understand. It's a new era of ego, Bay Floyd. If you start causing problems to damage my ego, you're going to get in trouble. My fragile ego is going to be protected in TBC. We both know I'm not keeping threat as a prot warrior. I'm just going to ban people from pulling threat. My gameplay is not going to allow me to hold threat. I'm just my dictatorship will. If these off tanks are going to try and hit the boss, that's going to be a problem. If I'm tanking something and our bear is in there, they are not allowed to press mangle for 15 seconds, man. Stay away from the enemy. My threat needs to be protected. Yeah, I can't be losing threat, man. That's embarrassing. That is an embarrassment. I can't have that. I can't take that. But yeah, I don't know. TBC. DST is like 40 DPS for ret, 33 for hunter in phase 1. That's essentially useless, man. That's literally meaningless. I hate to break it to you. On a contested item like DST, that is irrelevant. That stuff just does not matter at all. It really does not matter. Where you start caring is if you can move things around. Like, okay, if you're saying hunter gains 7 less, okay, but what item are you giving a hunter then? Like, if you want to get really optimal with it, okay, give DST to ret. Okay, what are you giving hunter though? Because you got to give them something that's better for them than ret. So yeah, I mean, loot counseling over 7 DPS gain is kind of pointless. You'd rather loot counsel to the better player still in that case, or to the player that's more likely to stay in the guild. But yeah, 7 DPS is irrelevant for loot council. The only time you really care about loot council is if people are replacing items sooner, or it just really is not efficient. Like, for example, if you give a Skull of Gul'dan to a Shadow Priest, they just do not need to hit. So the DPS gain is pretty significantly different, as far as I remember. So that's an example where, like, okay, it's not to say that a Shadow Priest can never get a Skull of Gul'dan, but maybe, again, and this is what our guild did, maybe you do something wild. If you have a really good Shadow Priest, maybe give them Zardoom, but maybe don't let them ever get Skull of Gul'dan, because that item is just not as catered to them, because they don't need to hit. Same thing with, like, mages. Mages should probably... I mean, I don't know. There was some funny business about mages and Skull of Gul'dan and, like, weird lust windows, and there was some propaganda mages were trying to use for Skull of Gul'dan. But again, maybe just give the mage Zardoom and give the skulls to warlocks who need to hit more. Skull is pretty good on mage, yeah. But again, maybe the question isn't, is it good on mage or not? Maybe the question is, you know, maybe Skull is better on warlock, and maybe Zardoom is, you know, also still really good on mage. So if you're doing, I think that is what loot council is about. Loot council is not about just not giving classes things. People always do this thing where they're like, they think what loot council means is just not giving loot to the support specs. That's just, in my opinion, not correct. I think what loot council should do is, number one, you should be incentivizing players to try in the guild, and incentivizing them through rewarding them. Like, hey, if you're a good player, you're going to get more loot. Then you want everyone in the guild to think, oh, well, I'm going to try extra hard then. That's what should be the purpose of loot council, number one. And number two, it should be to give loot to the classes that aren't going to waste the item, or the players that aren't going to waste the item. Like, for example, a very good example is in SSE, we have a sword from Leotheris. This sword's pretty good, Fang of the Leviathan. I think it's not BIS for that many classes. It's BIS for stuff like Prot Paladin and stuff. But, like, this is not BIS for that many classes, because there's a Tempest Keep item called the Nexus Key that's better for most specs. However, again, like, you don't want to give that sword to someone who is going to get a Nexus Key. That's the whole point of Loot Council. The whole point of Loot Council is, okay, we are not going to give a really good sword to someone who's going to take it off and equip Nexus Key. Because then we've given 2 good weapons to the same person, and now one of those weapons is essentially wasted or deleted. That's the point of Loot Council. The point of Loot Council is not to take a DST from a Ret Paladin and give it to a Hunter, or vice versa, or take it from a Hunter and give it to a Ret, so the raid does 7 more DPS. Like, that doesn't really matter. You gave loot to your Priest? Of course, man. And it caused a lot of guild drama. We gave Zardoom to a Shadow Priest, and then our Warlock G quit. Good times. But yeah, that's the whole... I think a lot of people misunderstand, like, what the point of Loot Council is, or what you're trying to accomplish. Again, that's just my opinion, but I think the whole point of Loot Council should be to maximize the success of the guild. But most of the ways in which you can maximize the success is actually through morale, not through actual gameplay. Like, the amount of damage gain you can get from loot counseling properly is actually not that big of a deal compared to, like, just keeping the guild happy so less people leave. Like, for example, if you min-max every single item in a loot council guild, people are not going to be happy that every item goes to Warlock first over other classes, and the loot is really unfairly distributed. If you just are telling them, oh, but it's for maximum guild damage, well, people are going to start leaving with gear, and that's not actually best for maximum guild damage. I thought there was no loot council in Tragic. True. Yeah, people are asking me questions about loot council. We're not doing loot council. We're doing rolling on gear. Well, there's going to be some things that are, like, people aren't allowed to roll on if it, like, sucks for the class. I don't know how deep we're getting into that. Like, some stuff is basic. Like, in phase 1, hunters can't roll on tier because it's not part of their biz setup. But again, like, how specific do we want to get with that? For hunter, it's very obvious they don't want to take the dungeon gear off for the tier. So that's really a simple. Phase 1, hunters don't roll. I don't care about Kara at all, by the way. I'm talking about 25-man. But in a 25-man setting, like, what do we do if a item is, like, very close to BIS for one character and very... I think we're going to have to do something along the lines of, like, hey, you're not allowed to roll on an item if you've gotten something similar. So you need to kind of factor that in. If the item sucks, I'll just say, hey, this item sucks. This doesn't count. But yeah, like, I think, for example, we're going to have to say, if you're a caster and you win Fang the Leviathan, you cannot roll on Nexus Key. And to some, this sword looks very cool, by the way. To some extent, I think it's just because it's very big on the Tauren. To some extent, players are going to almost have to be like, man, do I even want to roll on this if I really want Nexus Key? But then the awkward thing is they may never win the roll on Nexus Key. So I think to some extent, players in our guild are just going to have to accept the fact. It's going to be like Boomer 2005 again, where you're like, hey, man, I'm just going to roll on both and see what I get. And that's just kind of how it's going to be. Isn't Fang prop Paladin BIS? Yeah. But, like, for example, that's a good example. We are not going to tell the casters they cannot roll on this sword. Just because it's prop Paladin BIS and it's technically not caster BIS. Because, again, realistically, any caster who gets this is not replacing it. Because we're not going to let them roll on Nexus Key. It seems to me that SR is less made. SR is trash, dude. We're not doing SR. SR is just SR is probably the most unfair loot system there is in that people currently use. SR is so unfair. It's crazy to me how I get it's good for pugs because it's just easy to set up or whatever, but SR is so unfair because whoever like unless we do something where people are penalized for winning in an SR system, whatever individual wins an SR has a disgusting advantage. Like imagine I'm playing prop warrior, okay? It sucks, dude. I'm a prop warrior. I get so much gear for free. I'm just gonna SR tier. Meanwhile, all the other people are worried about contested items. I don't care, dude. I'm just gonna take all the tier from them, right? Or for example, the whoever the first person is to get belt of 100 depths. Let's say I'm a prot warrior, and a ton of people in our guild are reserving this belt of 100 depths because it's really good. If I get this as a prot warrior, I now am able to just res a ton of items that are really easy to pick up. So now I have belt of 100 deaths and I have a ton of tier. And you know who the other people who lost the role now have to keep reserving this item and they're never going to catch up. So SRs, unless you do some sort of correction to penalize people from winning their SR, I think just random rolling is actually more fair. Because again, like, dude, I also anticipate what we'll probably do is some level of there's going to be some level of camaraderie amongst a lot of pretty much everyone in our guild is a long time player. We have a few people who've played intermittently, but like our guild currently is at like 22 people. We've not pugged. We've not opened up any randoms yet. There's obviously a few people that are like, for example, Bayfloyd has never played in my guild. However, he is, he's not like a random from LFG. So I think there will be some level of camaraderie like amongst healers. Where they go like, okay, I know we roll for gear, but like, dude, we're a guild. I'm not gonna roll on something I don't need. Like, I don't anticipate we're gonna have a ton of problems with people. Like, if I tell them, hey man, just a heads up, you know, you have Serpent's Fang. I'll tell people in advance though. I'll just be clear. It's not gonna be a surprise, but I'll be like, hey, if you have Fang of the Leviathan, you're not rolling on Nexus Key. Just a heads up. Like, we're not gonna. That's a really good weapon. That's close to Nexus Key. You're not gonna. Yeah, whatever. Tragic veteran from Sod. I guess BFD. That actually is a good point. BFD is a raid. I was gonna say you've never raided in the guild, but BFD counts, man. BFD was one of the best raids of all time. So you're right. I've been dooming on the thoughts that we are getting nerfed phase 1 and phase 2. That is definitely, yeah, that is definitely like that's like the elephant in the room, or that's like the thing you don't want to say out loud. Is that, yeah, the game is like actually giga dead on arrival. It's actually crazy that there's like a 50% chance the game is just terrible. And we're just kind of low-key hoping that doesn't happen. Is this the green screen? You think I'm in the Bahamas? This is my crib, as the kids call it. But yeah, what about BFT? True. How's it going? What's the current expansion? This is they're releasing TBC again, Twin Shank. We're back to TBC again. This guy's got to go hit the forge. Did you move out again? This is been in the same apartment for a while. Need to move out soon though. But yeah, that's that's the whole point with the SR Bayfloyd is, yeah, we could do some sort of modified SR system. But yeah, I personally feel that SR is one of the worst systems for distributing loot evenly. Because what always happens in an SR guild, I mean, I saw it happen, and I'm not like, it's just like, it's what happened to me in Molten Core. And to be clear, I don't like have any, I don't think anyone is doing anything wrong in this situation. But like in Molten Core, for example, I go into Molten Core every week and I'm rezzing Onslaught Girdle every single week, right? Double SRing it. pretty much every week. It drops. I don't get it. What am I doing next week? I'm double SRing it again. So I am stuck in Onslaught Girdle Res Prison forever. And I may never get the item. But you know what does happen though? Whoever gets the item, they're now allowed to res a ton of things in the raid that are less contested. So they're now resing Band of Ikuria. They're now resing weapons. Their gear is expanding. And so it's realistically a possibility. All it takes is losing a few Onslaught Girdle rolls. And I'm 3 months into the phase, and I don't have a single SR. I've never received an SR, which is what occurred. I don't remember how long I raided, but I raided in Molten Core with an SR system for maybe 3 months. I never received a SR item. Dude, the rock elementals are up. Surely I don't actually try and do this quest, right? But of course I do, because I'm mentally ill. How crazy is that? I raided for 3 months. I never got my SR, which means I'm still stuck resing Onslaught Girdle forever. Meanwhile, the person who won Onslaught Girdle, again, who hasn't done anything wrong, that individual just starts resing whatever they want, and they're actually getting gear. They're actually now SRing. They're SRing items that less people are contesting. So it's actually a situation where if you walk into the raid with Onslaught Girdle, your chances of getting gear are higher than an individual who doesn't have Onslaught Girdle, which in a pug means that the more geared players actually have a better shot at loot, which is kind of nice. But the downside is if you were next to the other people and they keep winning, all it takes is winning one SR, it can completely change the entire tier. Yeah. Council's probably the best system to maximize fairness in a guild. Yeah, I agree with that. Loot council is definitely the most fair system if you have a good loot council, because they're able to look at a player and go like, hey, this is a deserving player and they haven't gotten enough loot. Let's give them more loot. But even sometimes if it's not malicious, like for example, I've made mistakes. We in Wrath of the Lich King, I gave too much gear to one of our Shadow Priests who was very bad at the game, and not enough gear to one of our Shadow Priests that was very good. And the whole idea was our very good Shadow Priest, I was trying to give them like trinkets and weapons and off pieces. And I think in their case, they were first on a lot of hard mode off pieces in Old War, but they just never dropped. And our bad priest was getting tier faster. But what ended up happening is our bad priest gets 4 set tier. Our good priest doesn't have it. And yeah, our good priest was waiting for off pieces, but yeah, they just ended up like not getting enough gear. So that's an example where like there was no CLC. It was just poor loot council, right? It's just mistakes were made. But yeah, anyway. Peaches, you are a goblin, man. You are completely a goblin. You're playing classic, and you got more gear than probably almost anyone ever playing the game, and that you're complaining about one item. You were one item from Bis. You had Warglaives. You had Blackened Naru Sliver, and you're complaining about a helmet. And you probably had Cursed Vision of Sargeras. So yes, you were absolutely a goblin. I mean, it's normal if you were to say, oh man, I wish I could have completed that item. I was close to full Bis. But dude, you make it sound like it was such a rough situation, and you had Warglaives and full Bis except for one item. You had Blackened Naru Sliver. Do you understand, in my guild, we only got like 2 Blackened Naru Slivers? So while you're complaining about being Bis except for helmet, like my entire guild doesn't even have their trinket, but that's Bis, and is missing like 5 things. Dude, my guild couldn't even... Yeah, your guild got 1 Blackened Naru Sliver and you got it, and yet you're still complaining. That's crazy work. When everyone else in your guild is way further from Bis than you. Anyway, that's my opinion. Little goblin mode. I think it's fine to say, man, dang, I was close to Bis, I never got it. That's fine. But you think about it a lot, man. You think about it a lot, that helmet. It lives rent-free. But anyway, for me, I don't know, man. We'll see what happens with gear. Our guild is going to roll gear. We're going to roll gear, and I'm just hoping we don't have to... I think most people are going to be pretty chill about it. I think the main thing we're going to have to do is make a list of, like, conflicting items. which I don't think will take too much effort. But what I mean by a list of conflicting items is like, hey, if you get a caster sword, you can't roll on the staff. If you get Tempest of Chaos, you can't roll on Zardum. If you get I don't think it's that many items though. I think there's just a few items that if for example, if you get like if you roll on Vast Chest, you're not allowed to roll on Tier Chest. Basic stuff like that. I think that shouldn't be too big of a problem. I think that's like kind of common sense. I don't think that'll be drama or anything. I think that's just literally common sense. Little scroll real quick. Like for example, I go back to raid. If you're an SSE, this is like a chest. This chest is good for some people. This is BIS for Warlock, but it kind of shows up as BIS for some other classes or whatever. But it's like, I think it's best for Warlock. And I think back in my day, we loot counseled it to Warlock. This time around, we probably will not say Warlock only. But if you get this, you can't roll on Tier Chest. Which means, for example, a mage is probably never rolling on that because they want Tier Chest. So yeah, that's probably what we'll do. Who is Glaive Prio? We have no set Glaive Prio currently. It will be something that is not rolled at the time that it is dropped. It is possible we decide that it will be rolled. But legendaries, we have an asterisk right now. We're rolling for gear, but legendaries and DST we are going to put on a list. And again, I actually don't even care that much about rolling for DST. It's more of like week 1, if we pug an enhancement shaman, they can't roll. Or like if we get a fresh enhancement shaman that we don't know yet, they can't roll right away. What's up? Still hype for TBC? Yeah, for sure, man. TBC. Is Tragic getting a one-man loot council this time around? That's what it has always been. I mean, Tragic was basically always a one-man loot council. I would ask other people for opinions, but it was always like 95% me. This time we're just not doing loot council. We're just rolling. We're rolling. Again, we're just gonna try and have a small list of things that just make common sense. Like I think the best way of putting it is our guild is gonna be rolling, and we're not going to have really any rules that need to be said, but we're going to explicitly state them just to make sure there's no confusion. And what I mean by that is, for example, warriors are not allowed to roll on the Vashbow until all the hunters have it. That's kind of common sense. If you go to a pug, it's possible they would just not let warrior roll and call this a hunter main spec item. Like, we're just going to say that clearly so there's no drama. But like that, some people may argue that is just common sense. That if you're rolling, especially in a guild setting, that a warrior cannot roll on this bow. But that also means the opposite is true. Of like, that also means enhancement shamans would get priority of the main hand talent. And hunters can't roll. So hunters cannot roll on melee weapons. Or like, for example, there's no way we're letting a hunter roll on Talon of Ashara. That's not happening. A hunter is not allowed to roll on that. Yeah, that's not allowed. Not until every melee has it. So yeah, I mean, that stuff is common sense. But yeah, we're going to be a guild that's rolling, but some very basic common sense stuff like, okay, dude, if you roll on a weapon, you just can't roll on another weapon the next week if they're both close. And hunters, again, yeah, that kind of thing. Why would a hunter want a one-hander? I don't think our hunters want to... Our hunters are conflicted about melee weaving. I don't think they want to melee weave. But they're trying to figure out how much damage they're going to lose. The whole point of this loot system, by the way, is not that this is an optimal loot system. The whole point is our loot system is designed for pugging. That's the whole point. And it's specifically done this way to make running the guild easier. If we ever are missing a player, we can easily pug because we just roll, right? Imagine raid day comes and 5 people are absent. We just go to LFG and pug. And I'm confident that we check logs and we get some decent players. we'll be fine. We'll be completely fine, and we just roll gear. So that's the whole point of our loot system is we are not going to maintain a rotating bench. Our guild is going to have exactly 25 players in it. And if anyone is ever missing, we are just going to pug. And if people are missing too inconsistently, they're going to be replaced through pugging. That's our pugging is going to be our recruitment and our bench. If someone no shows raid, we're going to pug their spot. If they're we need to recruit a new enhancement shaman, we're just going to pug. And when the enhancement shaman comes to the run, we'll say, hey, dude, heads up, we're a guild. If you like the run, let me know. We are looking to recruit. Yeah. Why don't hunters want to weave? I feel like it would be fun. I mean, I feel like maybe it's fun if the bosses don't move. But I feel like as soon as the bosses start moving, it can get a little tedious. And some people just want to vibe, man. Some people just want to chill. I think that's something that really should not be underestimated is, dude, in this day and age, nothing matters. Like, do you really want to get in there melee weaving? Like, sometimes it's nice to just lean back and relax. Sometimes you don't want to do something insanely engaging all the time. Like, I'll give a good example. A good example is retail. As you guys know, I'm a very extremely skilled retail player. In retail, I like to play a class called Enhancement Shaman. Enhancement Shaman is really hard, though, and really complicated. So sometimes I just feel like playing Fury Warrior on retail, because Fury Warrior is completely brain dead. And I don't play it all the time. But, dude, there's something nice about playing a completely brain dead spec and just still doing damage and still, just like being a little more relaxed. Sometimes you don't want your brain on all the time, especially if you have like an engaging... Some people want different things. You have like a really exhausting job or a tired day. Sometimes you just want to sit back on Hunter and do a 1-1. One steady shot, that's it. Sometimes you just want to chill. And I think that is extremely reasonable. Extremely reasonable. And in fact, I would argue that's probably a much more reasonable state of mind than a mindset of like, man, if you're not melee weaving, what's wrong with you? Yeah, sometimes you just want to vibe. Sometimes you want to play something really engaging. Sometimes you want to chill. Different times. Different people. Different things. Whatever. Start always missing half his chat when he's deep in his raid loot speeches. Man's passionate. I mean, you guys can repeat your chat messages if I miss them. You anticipating roster boss being the big hurdle? No. Trenlo, I am not. Because I know you asked that probably before I described the whole loot system. But I genuinely believe that us rolling gear and pugging is going to make the expansion extremely easy. Because I think last time around, all of the struggles of me running everything was literally all tied to recruitment. Recruitment and benching people. My least favorite thing to do in World of Warcraft is to tell a player they're benched. I hated doing that. You know how much that sucks to tell somebody who wants to play a video game in their free time that they're not allowed to play? I hated doing that. And I always, it always made me feel bad. I'm too, with that kind of thing, I'm too, especially if they haven't done anything wrong. If someone's griefing the raid and I want to bench them, I have an easier time with that. But, man, I really do not like benching people who want to play the game. That's like it's like so weird. Yeah. But you said the exact 25 player strat, you'd lose all your hair. Dude, I think it's so much easier this way. For me, benching people is what causes me to lose my hair. So for me, this is actually way easier. I would much rather, on the day of raid, need to pug 3 people. Especially, we're raiding on prime time. We're raiding prime time on reset day. We're going to be completely fine. We're going to be completely fine. Like, the entire server is going to want to come to our raid. If we advertise a quick clear, who doesn't want to come to our raid? Who doesn't want to come to our raid, man? If you see SSCTK 1.5 hour run, Um, on reset day, dude, everybody's want to go to that. We're gonna have so many good players. Anyway, yeah, Megan still thinks it's a green screen. It's not. All right, miss anything else in chat? Atula was not expecting me to stream. Well, here you go. No bigger shame than not weaving as a hunter, dude. That's crazy. I don't even think it's that much damage, especially with the amount of. I feel like a lot of hunters should not even try because they're gonna screw it up. Yeah, goated expansion to EBC. Call it common sense loot system. I mean, yeah, anyway. So we'll see. We still may have some problems with the whole rolling thing of like, dude, when it comes to gear, some people are so mentally like insane. It's crazy. It's crazy how insane some people can get about gear. So even I say all this about, oh, it's looking good or this or that. Like the reality is there's going to be some people in the guild that are going to be wanting to roll on like literal garbage. And they're going to get upset for some reason. Like, it's going to be one of those situations where a player is going to like, dude, I can already tell you it's going to happen. It's not going to be a smooth, a completely smooth situation. There's going to be someone who wants to roll on some garbage item. I'm going to be like, well, why do you want this garbage item? They're going to tell me because it like looks cool or something. And I'm going to be like, okay, well, if you think it looks cool and you really wanted this item, why do you also want the tier helm? And then we're going to get this weird situation where this buddy is like salty that he can't roll on some random bad offset helmet because it looks cool when they took a tier helm. That's going to happen. Anyway. What state are you in? Is it going to snow? Yeah, it's going to snow a little bit. I live in Texas. It is going to snow. But in Texas, people die when it snows. So I'm hoping, I'm hoping not too many people die, but some people are probably going to die. Dallas, not Dallas, but I don't know if I'll reveal the exact city. Where am I? I'm buying frost oil. I need to buy all the things. Is it what? Patterned bracers? Frost oil. Did I just buy frost oil or did it say it was not available? I think it was not available, so I need to buy another. Okay. Frost oil is used in a quest. I need some bracers. Okay. Objective of coolant heads prevail. Gyro what? Now I need a gyrochronatum. Oh, that's an overpay. Item was not found. Like what? There's my gyrochronatum. Then I need healing potion, lesser invisibility potion. I should have a healing potion somewhere. Who's got a healing potion? I can send one from Coder. Okay. And then that leads to Lucian tool wrench. Stone is better than cloth. Patterned bronze bracers. Okay. We got what we need. Worse than Gold ABs, fun ABs, misery. I've been just doing the dailies. I've been doing the dailies every day for PvP to stock up on what I need. I still got to do a couple AV dailies today, but Frog is my character, and then I need a healing potion, and Coder has one. Good to see you back. Excited to see some top tier sabotage TBC. TBC, I mean, TBC is going to be an interesting time. Like I said, I am this time around. Pug, Ninja, Looter, Potential, that could be food. Yeah, we're not going to leave group loot on, just to be clear. Dude, why did I send myself this? Oh, maybe it was a return mail or something? I don't know. All right. We're not going to leave group loot on. Like, Pugs are not going to be able to ninja. Pugs just might complain. You overthrew a guild? Yeah, true. That is true. Basically, I was in a guild. I used to, technically, I didn't have the GM title, but I was like raid leader. And I was, ended up actually running the guild. But there, at the beginning of TBC, at first it was unclear. Surely you're not doing one item at a time in raid warning rolling. I think we're going to have to do that, yeah. I mean, dude, I want to leave it on group loot. But I don't even trust our guild not to press need on group loot. Yeah, we're not going to be using RC loot. Yeah, I mean, we're just gonna go fast. You're gonna fall asleep? I mean, you might. We're just gonna do a bunch of loot all at once, probably. Try and go fast. I mean, it kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Can't be worse than Nax Ramus RC Loot Council, though. That is true. Are you the boomer gamer still? Yeah, I've just only gotten older, man. Dude, it's crazy. Just put GDKP low key. I mean, that would be nice, actually. But yeah, I did the reason I overthrew a guild, though, I was explaining that story, is this time around, I wasn't sure if I would be able to play TBC at all at first. And then I didn't know how much I would play if I'd play in a limited capacity. But some things have occurred such that now that I can play TBC. So now I'm in charge. The reason I'm in charge is because it's like a weird situation too with our guild of like no one actually really wanted to be in charge. So I just need to be in charge. Because if I'm not in charge, there's no one else in the guild who wanted to be in charge. Like, for example, before I reclaimed the guild, they were planning on rotating leadership, dude. Respectfully, that is crazy. They were planning on rotating guild leadership, man. Like, someone would run the guild phase 1, phase 2, and then they'd hand it off. And someone else would run it phase 3, phase 4, or whatever. It's like, dude, at this point, I'm just gonna, it's just, I'm just taking over. All right, we're just not doing that. That is insane. I understand not wanting to commit to an entire expansion. I completely understand saying you'll run the guild phase 1, phase 2, because you don't want to run the guild at all, and you're compromising and saying, okay, I don't want to run the guild at all, but I guess I can run phase 1, phase 2. But yeah, clearly that just means you don't want to run the guild. But yeah, planning like already planning to like, also it not being exactly clear who is the future like gonna be in charge. Anyway, so yeah, also the other reason I think I needed to overthrow the guild and become the GM is because I'm one of those people that like, I think if I think something is, you know, there's a right way to do it, I can accept being in a guild where they do it wrong all the time. But the thing that kind of sucks is, dude, it kind of sucks for the common Joes to get owned. Like, for example, if I'm just in a guild and I don't know anyone, if let's say I join a guild, I actually intend on doing this. If I join a guild and they do a lot of brain dead stuff, dude, I don't care. I'm leaned back. I'm chilling. I don't care about loot. I don't care about gear. I don't mind joining a guild that makes a bunch of mistakes with loot or strategy. I don't care. But what does bother me is if I know the people, or like I've played in the guild, or whatever you want to say, it kind of sucks to watch people I've played with get like hard griefed. So, for example, to be very specific, right? Let's say we're playing the Burning Crusade, and I was just a normal raider in Tragic, which is the name of my guild. If I was just
恋をしてね、アキラちゃん。あなたにとって素敵な、幸せな、運命みたいな恋を。そしてそれを私に 教えてね。
いつ命が尽きるとも知らない大事な人の言葉。未だに叶えてやれていないけれど、いつかきっと俺は恋に落ちる。はい、コーヒー専門店ほかげでございます。
マーケティング C&S の斉藤と申します。店長様をお願いしたいんですが。
ああ、少々お待ちください。
お名前伺ってよろしいでしょうか。念のため下のお名前も。
ああ、はい、相馬明です。今店長に。あれ、
どうしたアキラ。
マーケティング系の会社から電話だったんだけど切れちゃった。
勧誘かな。切れたならいいさ。あ、そろそろ時間だな。上がっていいぞ。あとこれケーキ持ってけ。今日日曜だろ。
いつもありがとう。
気をつけろよ。
毎週日曜のバイト明け、俺は総合病院に向かう。このケーキを病室にいる母光が口にすることは無理だろう。それでも光の嬉しそうに笑う顔が見られれば今はそれで十分だ。俺の通う東京アートビジュアルスクールは都内にある総合美術専門学校だ。2年からは専科ごとに通う場所もバラバラになるのだが、2年なのに沖村は相変わらずこっちの本校舎に顔を出すね。
何が言いてんだよ。
別に全然いられ上達しないなんて言ってない。ああ、間違った。
いちいちツッコミ入れっからだろ。てめえガチでムカつく。
しずる、ホッキーが怖い。
相馬がからかうからだろ。沖村、いいからこれちゃんと仕上げて。相馬も邪魔しないで。
はーい。アニメ化の北しずるにファッション家の沖村こう、どちらも俺の友人だ。しずるが沖村に CG ソフトの臨時講師をするためこの PC ルームでしょっちゅう顔を合わせているのだが、一緒に住んでるんだから家で教えてもらえばいいのに。それとも学校でも一緒にいる口実とか。
分かってんならいちいち口突っ込むな。
あ、沖村。
またイチャイチャしてるし。
してない。沖村も話せ。
えいって。
それはともかく、相馬、アート雑誌のイラストコンペに出せって先生に言われてるだろ。なんでちゃんとやらないんだよ。
あーねえ。でもコンペとか選ばれないとへこむじゃん。それに俺は普通に会社員になって趣味で絵を。
趣味なら専門学校にまで入ることないだろう。描き続けたいならプロになるべきだ。
何？プロ目指す人間以外は書くのも勉強もすべきじゃないって？
違う、そういう意味じゃなくって。
ほっとけよしずる。こいつにはこいつの考えがあるんだろうし、やる気ないなら周りが勧めたって無駄だろ。
無駄って、沖村そんな。
その通り。俺には俺の考えがあるしさ。ところで村地君今日いないの？
学校には来てるよ。ただ今日はレポートの提出係。
こんにちは。
遅いよ村地君。
相馬くん、茅野先生がどうしてもって。
田中を怒るなよ。どっちが約束すっぽかしたか分かってるよな。
田中村地君の背後から現れたのは俺の担任でデザイン科でも一番人気の講師茅野幸宏だった。
そう嫌な顔するなよ相馬。
自顔です。
嘘をつくなー。
頭触らないでください。
相馬、いいから話ちゃんとしておいで。面談すっぽかしたのは相馬が悪いよ。
ありがとね北くん。
村地君恨むよ。
ごめん。でも逃げても意味ないだろ。頑張って。
いい友達だよなみんな。
裏切り者。面談場所は指導室だった。狭い空間に資料がみっしりのいかにもなお説教部屋。居心地は最悪だ。先生、今課外だよね。さっきも担当じゃない村地君連れてたし、規定違反じゃないの？学校では生徒と講師の私的な交流を禁じている。課外の相談はおろか、授業以外では口を聞くことすら注意され、厄介なのだ。
呼び出しを無視したから必要な措置を取ったまでです。で、本題だけどコンペの件考えてくれたかな？
コンペには出しません。俺イラストレーター志望じゃないし、ああいうのは才能があってちゃんとしててなりたい人がなればいいんだよ。
俺は相馬には才能があると思うし、ちゃんとしてると思うよ。
じゃなくて、事務とかの安定した仕事したいの。
ならうちじゃなくて実務系の学校に行った方が良かったろう。
そりゃ絵の勉強もしたかったし。
ほら、それが相馬のやりたいことだろ。課題も毎回得意もらうレベルなのに、なんでそんなに拒否するんだ。
しずると似たようなこと言ってる。言ってることは正しいと思うけど、でも俺ほんと絵を仕事にしたくないんだ。量産されるもの作るの自体なんか好きじゃないし、他人に評価されるの嫌なんだよ。
評価ね。入賞できないとプライドが傷つくから嫌なのか？
何言われても俺はそのつもりない。
そこまでして会社勤めしなきゃならない理由があるのか？相馬、黙ってるだけじゃ俺は納得できない。
俺の母親、心臓悪くていつどうなるか分かんないの。
そうなのか？
そう、俺を産むのも命がけだったんだ。俺が20歳になるまで生き延びるとはひかりちゃん自身も思ってなかったって。
ひかりちゃん？
うちの母親、相馬ひかり、もうすぐ37歳。若いだろ？
ご家族が病気ならむしろ在宅の仕事の方がいいんじゃないか？
無理。俺メンタル弱いし、ひかりちゃんが大変な時締め切りって言われたら絶対テンパる。会社なら休んで誰かに代わり頼めるけど。
でもそんなのお母さんは望んでるのか？
真逆。ひかりちゃん、見舞いにもあんまり来なくていいって言うんだ。自分は寝てばっかりだから週に一度だけにしろって。
寝顔見に来るより、あきらちゃんは自分の好きなことをして、そして楽しい話をたくさん聞かせてね。
俺は身近な人たちに喜んでもらえる作品が描ければそれでいい。周りの人間が幸せであること以上は何一つ望んでいない。だから自分を大事にしろという光こそを大事にしたかった。
本当に講師ってのは何もしてやれないことが多すぎるな。
先生が責任感じることじゃないだろ。
まあな。事情は分かった。でもやっぱり惜しいんだ。コンペだけでも出てみてくれ。
でも
俺が言うと嫌がるのは1年前のあの事件のことを許せないからか？
別にそんなんじゃない。
お前の友達をちゃんと守ってやれなかったのは本当に悪いと思ってる。
あれはしょうがないんじゃない？先生も立場あるだろうし、俺だって誰かに守ってもらおうなんて思ったことないし。
なんだか意味深な感じだな、相馬が言うと。
どういう意味？
別に これコンペのエントリーシート。そう、まあこの雑誌よく読んでるだろ。自分の絵が載ったら楽しくないか？
用紙はもらう。でも考えるだけだからな。
俺は信じてるよ。エントリーシート書いたら持っておいで。
なあ、なんでそんなに俺にこだわるの？
埋もれてる才能が潰れていくのを見るのが嫌なんだ、俺は。あとは自分的トラウマ救済かな。
意味わかんねえし。じゃあ失礼します。
1年前のあの事件のことを許せないからか。
茅野が悪いわけじゃないのに、俺バカみたい。まだ俺が1年の頃、茅野は今のように担任ではなく、単なるイラストレーション実習担当の講師だった。
これからしばらくの間お世話させてもらいます。茅野です。よろしく。じゃあ今から音楽流すから、これに合わせて好きに書いて。
先生書いてもいいの？
いいよ、かっこよく書いてな。
ノリ軽っ。だけどなんか面白そうだな。変な講師。茅野は木をてらうだけではなく熱心な講師だった。褒めるところは褒め、分かりやすくアドバイスする。だが器用なだけで手を抜いた作品には容赦がなかった。
あのナモリのこのイラスト、どう考えてもテーマからずれてるだろう。
俺なりの表現つか、テーマとかそういう型にはまったのって面白くねえし、こだわりがいって
稚拙なこだわりは結構。再提出。
なんだよ。
次は相馬だな。前に来て。
はい。これは。
ああ、説明いらないよ。いいねこれ。絵に物語がある。
そうですか？
うん、ものすごく綺麗な恋だね。おとぎ話とか夢みたいな、そういう初恋じゃないかな。相馬はいい子だな。このまま素直に描いていけばいいよ。
先生、いい子ってさすがにひどくね？
ごめん、ちっちゃいからつい。
もっとひでえよ。
何？相馬みたいに俺もラブがテーマならよかったわけ？
お前はそれ以前勝手に課題の内容をすり替えるな。ものすごく綺麗な恋だね。おとぎ話とか夢みたいな、そういう初恋じゃないかな。
そう言われた時、何も知らないんだなと言われたような気がした。そしてそれは事実だ。18を過ぎてもみんながしている恋を俺はしたことがない。けれどあの音楽には確かに恋を感じた。その後も茅野の出す課題は面倒なものばかりだったが、意外に生徒への受けは良かった。
今回はチーム組んで商品の企画からプレゼンまでやってみよう。話し合いは自分たちで時間決めてやってね。まとめ役の人はコンセプトの企画書俺のとこに出しに来て。みんなでやればできるから頑張って。
なんだかな、変な先生だ。企画書持ってきました。
お、相馬が代表、お疲れ。
先生、この課題きついよ。絶対時間内じゃ終わらない。
どう思う？この仮想プレゼンの課題。
めんどくさいけど楽しいかな。
一人で物作るのもいいけど、チームでやると 違った楽しみがあるんだよ。
実感こもってるね。
自分でもやってるからね。友人と組んでやってるデザイン会社のこれでも役員。森野って相馬のグループだったよな。ちゃんと課題やりそう？
微妙かな。
悪い子じゃないんだけどな。とりあえず頑張ってよ、リーダーさん。
うん、わかった。
ところでさ、相馬はなんで美大行かなかったの？
なんでって突然何？
正直お前のレベルなら専門学校じゃもったいないと思ってね。
俺絵で変な風に競争するの嫌なんだ。
そういう経験があるのか？
受験しようと思ってたけど、なんか予備校についていけなくって。
どこの予備校？
お茶の水の。
あそこか。厳しいので有名だもんな。
うん、プレでちょっと通っただけだったけど、総評なんかほとんど死刑宣告でさ、特にチューターがひどくて。
潰れるやつはここでさっさと潰れればいいんだよ。その程度の人間が大学行ってもどうせアーティストにはなれないしな。
ギスギスして他人を蹴落とすのがアーティストなのか？だったらそんなの俺は一切したくないって思った。
傷ついたんだな。お前他人の悪意とかダメそうだから。
悪意なのかな。
そのチューターいくつくらいだった？
わかんない。おっさんっぽくて。
実際におっさんだったのかもよ。浪人して苦労して大学入ったやつが若い芽を摘もうときついことを言うなんてよくある話だ。
マジで？
ま、そいつの言うことにも一理ある。絵で身を立てるなら根性や執念がないと無理だしね。だから指導するさじ加減が難しいんだ。厳しくしなきゃ育たないけど、厳しすぎたら折れちまう。
先生も大変なんだ。
お前みたいなのいっぱいいるからね。
どういう意味だよ。
そのまんまの意味だよ。変わらないでまっすぐ頑張りな。
その時から俺にとって茅野は信頼できる大人で、安心して何かを預けられる講師でもあった。だからこそ偶然耳にした一言がいつまでも引っかかったのだろう。それから数ヶ月が経った。夏休み直前のことだ。学校の近くのカフェで昼食をとっていた俺は、観葉植物で目隠しされた真後ろの席にいる2人の大人に気づいた。
じゃあ森野はもうやばそうですか？
夏休みの補習が来るかどうか。
この声って茅野とデザイン科の主任？
難しいですよね。やる気ないならやめろってわけにもいかないし、いざやめられても悩ましいのはこっちだし。
手厳しいですね。茅野先生とも思いませんが。
俺もう生徒に愛情を傾けるのはやめたいんですよ。
何それ？どういう意味？
らしくないですよ。せっかく茅野組は成績もいいのに。
たまたまでしょ。
その後の会話を聞きたくなくて俺は見つからないように急いでその場を去った。親身な態度や優しい言葉が嘘だったのかと思うと、どうしようもなくショックだった。別にいいじゃん。友達なわけじゃない。課題さえ出せばいいし。茅野との信頼関係に決定的な亀裂が入ったのはその年の秋のことだった。ネット上でしずるの作品を盗作呼ばわりする事件が起き、やつれていくしずるを前に俺は何もできなかった。しずる大丈夫？
平気。いつかこんなのも落ち着くよ。
しずるはそう言うけれど、噂の蔓延した学校では居場所がなく、人気のない PC ルームに一人でいることが多かった。そばにいるしかできない自分に腹が立ったが、それ以上に不愉快だったのは学校側の対応だった。
来た。ここにいたのか。
先生、しずるに何の用事？
ここじゃ言えない。来た。悪いけど学校長室に。
どうせネットの中傷の件だろ。関係ねえじゃん、しずるは。
いい、相馬。ちょっと行ってくる。俺やってませんよ。
分かってるよ。大丈夫か？
平気です。それより相馬をお願いします。
しずる、行くことないって。なんだよ、話せよ先生。
来た。悪い。
すぐ戻るから待ってて。
しずる、バカ。噂流されて痛い目見てるのしずるなのに、なんでもっと嫌なことすんだよ。
座りなさい、相馬。
何その冷静な顔。生徒に愛情かけたくないって、そういうこと？弱い者いじめして楽しいのか？なあ！
いいから座りなさい。俺も彼に問題があるなんて思ってない。でもここで部外者の相馬が騒いだら、ことが大きくなって北はもっと追い込まれる。
俺が部外者って言うなら、あんたたちはどうなんだ？ネットの中傷は学校外の話だろう。プライベートでは生徒と口聞くなとか言うくせに、被害者のしずる相手に迷惑かけるなって釘だけは刺すのか？変なの、そんなの。
変なのは俺も分かってる。俺だってお前たちに大人の嫌な部分を見せたくないけど、今は正論で揉めるより学校長に言いたいことを言わせて受け流すしかないんだ。理不尽を飲み込んだ北の忍耐、無にするな。
頭では分かっていたけれど、よりによってそれを茅野に言われたことがひどくショックだった。しずるのことは俺らで何とかする。
うん、力になってやってくれ。
あんたが言うなよ。
俺らが守ってやらなきゃいけないのに傷つけてごめんな。
あんたが謝っても意味ないだろう。しばらくして事件は解決したけれど、それっきり本当に俺は茅野と素直に話すことすらできなくなった。そして1年が経つ今になっても茅野への感情はどこかトゲトゲしいままだった。茅野からコンペに出ろとしつこく勧められてから数日後の日曜日、俺は見舞いのために病院へ向かった。
あきらちゃん、いらっしゃい。
ひかりちゃん、こんにちは。これケーキ、調子よかったら食べて。
ありがとう。あきらちゃん、何かあった？疲れてるみたい。
ああ、最近就職ガイダンスで忙しいから。とっさにごまかしたけれど、本当は違った。俺の不機嫌は数十分前、バイト先のほかげにかかってきた電話のせいだ。はい、コーヒー専門店ほかげで。くそ。
なんだアキラ、また痛手んか？最近多いな。
嫌なことがあっても狭い病室で病気と戦っている光に苦い話はしない。絶対に笑い続ける。それは俺が決めているルールだった。ああ、 この間の課題のイラスト特 A 取ったんだ。
あら、あれ可愛かったものね。ねえ、あきらちゃんはイラストで身を立てることはしないの？
プロなんて無理だよ、俺には。
あら、私はあきらちゃんの絵ならどんな賞でも取れると思うわよ。
俺は趣味で描くので十分。それよりひかりちゃん、食べ終わったらお皿片付けようか。
ところで、あきらちゃんはまだ恋はしないの？
運命は巡ってこないね。なかなか難しいんだ。
いつになったら私はあきらちゃんの恋バナを聞けるのかしら。
ひかりちゃん、恋バナって。
なんだ、アキラ来てたのか。
遅いよ、しーちゃん、あゆみちゃん。現れたのはしーちゃんこと相馬茂、俺の父と秘書の篠木あゆみ。彼女は父を公私ともにサポートしてくれている家族同様の女性だ。
ひかりさん、今日はケーキ食べられたの？
うん、美味しかった。
よかったね。あきらくん、あとは私が。
ありがとう、あゆみちゃん。
その様子じゃまた光の恋バナだな。で、まだうちの息子は希望する話をしてやれてないと。
そうなのよ、まったく。
仕方ないじゃん、いないもんは。
理想高くなりすぎたのかしら。私いろいろ言いすぎ。
今日はもうおしまいにしよう。休みなさい。
分かった。今日は秋代は来なかったのね。
あーちゃん、どうしても仕事の都合がつかなかったみたい。
弱虫くんの弟に来週は来るようにって言っておいてね。
わかった、伝える。
お願いね。
秋代が弱虫か。
しょうがないよ、あーちゃんが一番甘ったれだから。ひかりちゃん、今年に入って2度も発作を起こしてるしね。俺のおじ、あーちゃんこと相馬秋代は重度のシスコンだ。光の病状が悪くなると誰よりも取り乱し、見舞いにすら来られなくなる。
さて、これからどうする？一緒に飯でも食うか？
いいよ、無理しなくて。しーちゃんもまた戻って仕事なんだろ。いつもありがとね、あゆみちゃん。しーちゃんのおもり。
お礼を言われることは何もないのよ。
俺、他に用事あるからもう行くね。
アキラ、大丈夫か？
うん、平気。俺別に心配かけるようなことしたことないだろ。
本当に誰か好きな人できたら教えろよ。お前が選んだものなら俺たちは受け入れるから、お前が受け入れてくれたように。
分かってる。
それじゃあ秋代によろしく。
うん。運命の恋なんてそんな転がってるもんじゃないんだろうけどさ。光の願いをできるだけ早く叶えてあげたいと思う。病気のせいで外の世界を知らず、幼なじみの父と結婚した光にとって、誰かと出会って落ちる恋は幸せの象徴だ。恋はしたのという問いかけは、今幸せなのと聞いているのと同じなのだ。報告間に合うといいんだけどな。 池袋のカフェバーコントラスト。店の2階にある住居にはオーナー店長であるあーちゃんと俺が一緒に暮らしている。居候が始まったのは今から5年前。俺が高校に進学してからだ。あーちゃん、ただいま。
こらアキラ、店から入ってくるな。
自分家なんだからいいじゃんか。
未成年がバーに堂々と入ってくるのが問題だっての。裏から入れ。
今さらだろう。いっつも俺が死んだら全部お前のもんだって言ってるくせに。
だよね、伊勢さん。伊勢さんはこの店の常連で、あーちゃんの学生時代からの友人だ。この店と同じ町にある弁護士事務所で働いている。あーちゃん、怖い顔してるとまた眉間にシワ増えるよ。
そうそう、せっかくの花のかばせに
余計なお世話だ。それよりアキラ、お前就職話先生と揉めてんだって。学校から電話があったぞ。
しつけえな、かやのも。
しつこいとかじゃないだろう。そういう話はちゃんとしろ。
じゃあ今から話聞いてもらっていいかな。店に客がいないのをいいことに、俺はこのところの茅野との話をした。コンペに出せと言われ渋っていること、就職のこと、自分の迷い。幼い頃から面倒を見てくれている2人はちゃんと聞いてくれた。なんでみんなやれやれって言うんだろう。
アキラにはやるなやるなって言った方が効き目あるかもな。
うるさいよ。しょうがないから今回のコンペにだけは出す。就職の件はまたその後で考えるけど。
そうか、よかった。
なんでよかったって。
俺もアキラのイラストは趣味じゃもったいないと思ってた。
でも今までそんなの一度も言わなかったじゃん。
決めかねてるようだったから口を出したくなかった。お前は期待されるとそれが自分の意に反してても答えようと頑張りすぎる。
別にそんなことないよ。今だって先生に期待されてるけど嫌がってるし。
お前が反抗するなんてずいぶん信頼してるんだな。気許してない相手にはニコニコしていいこぶるだろ。
いいこぶったりしない。だいたいあいつに信頼とか別にそんなのじゃないし。
どうしたんだアキラ。
悩める少年は情緒不安定なんだろう。
アキラはアキラの好きに生きていけばいい。俺は絶対に口は出さない。ただ決めたことなら応援はする。
ありがとう。全面的に俺の味方で俺の全てを肯定するあーちゃんは相談相手には向いていない。その全幅の信頼が時々重たく感じることなど絶対に口にしないけれど。
ところでアキオ、アキラにあの件言っておいた方がいいんじゃないの？
ああ、そうだな。
何のこと？
あのなアキラ、しばらくは実家に戻って店の方に近づくな。
何それ、なんかあった？
キャン覚えてるか？キャンたけし。
しずるの元彼だろ。忘れるわけないよ。数年前俺に強引に粉をかけてきたキャンから助けてくれたのがしずるだった。だが最悪なことにキャンはそれでしずるに目をつけてしまった。あいつが今さら何？
最近東京に戻ってきたらしいんだ。
まさかしずるに何かするつもりなのか？
わからないがしずるのことを探してるらしい。しばらく店には来るなって言っておけ。
分かった。まあしずるはうるさい沖村がついてるからともかく俺まで気をつけろってのは、前から疑問だったんだけど、しずるが捨てられた時あーちゃん自分のことみたいに怒ったよね。なんで？ キャンに何したの？
俺は何もしてない。
じゃあ伊勢さん？
人聞き悪いな。俺は正義の味方の弁護士さんですよ。
あーちゃん、全然俺の質問に答えてないよ。
しずるは秋代に似てるんだよ。
何いきなり、どこが似てるんだよ。
そんなことどうでもいいだろ。
都合が悪くなるとどうなる？
ところでアキラ、さっき茅野って言ってたよな。それ木偏に100の茅野？
そうだけど何？
事務所に来た案件でややこしい話耳にしたことがあって。
おい、守秘義務どこ行った弁護士。
なんだよ、気になる。
人には聞かれたくない話だってあるだろう。とにかくお前もしずるも気をつけろ。ここには近寄るな。
でも実家は学校から遠いよな。なんならうちに来るか、アキラ。
もっと危ねえよ。節操なしのバイにアキラを預けられるか。
伊勢さん、街中で男女関係なく綺麗な人腕にぶら下げてるもんね。
誤解だよ。あれはクライアント。
伊勢さん、その調子で浮気してばっかだからあーちゃんに求愛しても受け入れてもらえないんだよ。
浮気はしてないんだけどな。
浮気の定義がずれてんじゃないの？沖村なんかしずるが自分以外のやつと飯食っただけで怒るよ。
そりゃまた心狭いな。秋代もそれくらい狭い？
黙ってろ伊勢。アキラも余計なことを言わない。
すみません。
ごめんなさい。ちょっとコンビニ行ってくる。急にあんまん食べたくなった。
俺も帰るわ。ついでに送ってやるよ。
ありがとう。よろしく。ねえあーちゃん。ひかりちゃん元気だったよ。たまには顔を出しなよ。行ってきます。伊勢さん、
茅野先生の件？守秘義務だって言っただろ。
でも気になって眠れないよ。お願いね。っていうか伊勢さん、茅野先生の話わざとだろ。あーちゃんがもごもごしてたから話そらしただろ。
かなわないな。アキラ、帝都デザインアカデミーって知ってるか？
今の学校とどっち入ろうかって思ってたら潰れたから。
表向きの理由は経営なんてことになってるけど、実は帝デって生徒のコンペ賞金のピンハネや上層部の横領、問題山積みの学校でね。4年前うちに学校のパワハラ問題を相談しに来た講師がいた。生徒のために頑張ってたけど結局は学校を辞めざるを得なくなって。
それってまさか。
そう、茅野さん裁判の準備までしてたけど途中で学校そのものが潰れてね、悔しかったと思うよ。
あとは自分的トラウマ救済かな。
あのつぶやきの意味を理解して胸が痛かった。多分その頃の悔しさが茅野を熱心な講師にしたのだろう。同時になぜかモヤモヤした。茅野が一生懸命なのは俺に対してだけじゃないと分かったから。
茅野さんはちょっと弱みもあったからな。
弱みって？
本当にこれはプライバシーの問題だから言いたくないんだけど。
なんだよ。
いや、アキラがそこまで気にかける他人が珍しいと思ってね。 アキラはまだ理想の恋人見つからない？
何いきなり。
恋をするのは他人にしかできないって分かってるか？
言ってる意味が分かんないよ伊勢さ
ん分かんないだろうな。鈍いとこだけはおじさんそっくりだね、アキラ。
ん。話そらさないでくれよ。何なの？
そらしてない。あのな、他人の内情を知るってことは相手の事情を背負うことでもある。それでも茅野先生のことが知りたい。
背負う？
守秘義務ぶっちぎって情報を開示するからにはアキラの覚悟を見せてくれないと無理。
ただの好奇心で暴いていいことではないとたしなめられたのは分かった。けれど知らずに済ませるには茅野のことが引っかかりすぎている。俺1年の時茅野先生好きだったよ。熱心で授業面白くて。だけどネットの中傷の件があって先生学校側についたみたいですげえ嫌だった。でも食ってかかったら傷つけてごめんとか言われて。
それで
本当は言い過ぎたって分かってた。でもあれっきり謝れないし喋ると突っかかっちゃって。俺怒ってるの引きずるタイプじゃないのになんでかなって。覚悟なんてわからない。でも茅野のことを知りたい理由は自分の抱えたモヤモヤのせいだ。うまく言葉にできない俺を伊勢さんは笑った。
そこまで分かっててまだ分かんないんだ。
なんで俺あの人にばっかりムキになっちゃうんだろう。
秋音しずるには分かったようなこと言ってるくせに。
それは
俺が答えをあげちゃうのは違うと思うし簡単すぎるし、アキラはアキラらしくいてほしいし。
何の話？
これ以上秋夫に恨まれたくないよって話。
もう全然わかんない。
じゃあ続き。茅野さんは定出の講師にパワハラ受けた生徒と個人的な関係にあった。いわゆる先生と生徒の禁断愛ってやつ。
生徒と恋愛してたから何なの？
だからそれが彼の弱み。相手男の子だったんだ。学校側は問題を明るみに出した茅野さんを調べ、パワハラはどっちだと攻撃を始めた。共闘してた生徒の親も茅野さんを敵視しだしてね。生徒も親の言いなりで結局茅野さんと彼は破局。問題はうやむやのままに手では潰れた。後味悪い話だったよ。
あまりのひどい話に俺は絶句した。茅野がゲイであることも衝撃だった。どうしてショックなのか自分でも分からず俺は混乱した。
はい、大丈夫か？
その先生の彼氏、その後はどうなったの？
それが厄介な子でね。去年の夏なんて自殺未遂を起こして。
去年の夏って？
俺もう生徒に愛情を傾けるのはやめたいんですよ。
あれは騒ぎが起きた時期だった。茅野はきっと追い詰められてた。なのに俺勝手に失望したりしてバカだ。でもなんで自殺とか？
当時付き合ってた彼の件で親と大喧嘩して駆け落ちで連れ戻されて手首切った。命に別状はなかったけど病院抜け出して
まさかその騒ぎの時も茅野先生に関係あった？
本人は関係したくなかっただろうけどね。親の説得は聞かない。話すなら茅野先生じゃないと嫌だって大暴れして呼びつけられた。
なんでそんなこと？より戻したいとか？
いや、親に反抗したかっただけ。騒ぐだけ騒いで彼氏とも別れた。けど茅野先生は何年も前の古傷ほじ返されて親は大騒ぎ。結果またうちの事務所にご相談が来たってわけ。
そっか。
俺は忠告したよ。他人の内情に責任持てるのかって。
分かって
る。ならいい。アキラももう大人だからな。
ねえ、あーちゃんとしずるどこら辺が似てんの？
恋愛関係で失敗して臆病になってるとこかな。
伊勢さんの言葉の意味は俺には分からなかった。ただ知ってしまった茅野の過去に胸が苦しくて痛かった。重い話を聞いてしまった翌週の月曜日、朝一の講義は茅野が担当だった。
2週間後の週末、横浜でデザインフェスティバルが開催されます。興味のある人は行ってみるといいよ。俺もチームで出店してグッズ販売するから、お金あったら買って。はい、授業とともに宣伝おしまい。課題の提出期限忘れずにね。相馬、コンペのエントリーシートは？
持ってきてません。
なんか今日は元気ないな。体調でも悪いのか？
別にそんなことないです。すみません、ちょっと。
無理すんなよ。
あ、メール村地君からだ。お願いがあるので PC ルームに来てくださいって。なんだろう。
ああ、相馬くん、ごめんね、急に呼び出して。
いいよ。で、お願いって何？
この企画書見てもらえるかな。この背景部分、相馬くんに書いてほしくて。
え？俺に？これゲームのやつじゃないの？
うん。ね、みやちゃん知ってるよね。
村地君の彼女で一緒にゲームサークルやってる子だよね。なんか関係あるの？
この企画書、みやちゃんが大学で研究してるソフトのデモ用なんだ。白雪姫の人形劇で 3D キャラをリアルタイムで動かすんだけど、背景は手書きにしたくて。できればイベント前日までに。
待って、そのイベントっていつ？
デザフェスに出すつもり。
え？それ2週間しかないってこと？
無理だって言ったんだけど、相馬くんの絵じゃなきゃ嫌だって。
そんなこと言われたって、こんな短い期間じゃさ。
じゃあ相馬くんが直接断ってくれない？みやちゃん相手じゃ口で叶わないし。ごめん、この通り。
拝み倒してくる村地君には勝てず、俺は結局みやちゃんの自宅へ行くことになってしまった。
はじめまして、浅岡美也子です。
ああ、どうも、相馬明です。背景の件だけど。
早速本題ね。後でデモも見せるけど、まず。
いや、その件なんだけど、俺はまだ。
ダメ？ 相馬くんの絵すごく可愛くて一目でこれだって思ったんだけど、ダメなら全部ボツにするしかない。
別に他の人のでも。
相馬くんの絵がいいんだもん。そうじゃなかったらやめる。
いや、まだダメとは。
じゃあやってくれる？よかった。背景の家具はできれば素朴な木でできた手作り感のあるのがいいの。そういう風合いを生かした絵、相馬くん得意だよね。デザインはお任せするし。
聞いてお願い。
だから言ったでしょ、断れないって。
なんか村地君の懐深さの理由が垣間見えた。
で、ミニチュアのお家が作りたい。
待って、これは大事な企画だろ。俺なんか参加させていいの？
いいと思わなかったら誘わないよ。みっともないものを出せないでしょ。この 3D ソフト、村地と会社作るための叩き台だもん。
会社？このソフトで？
デザフェスはマーケティングのために出るの。今やってる研究も新しいシステムのゲームを作るためだし、全部私がやりたいことにつながってる。一つだって手は抜けないよ。
同年代でここまで未来を見据えている人がいるのか。コンペ一つにすら心を決めかねている俺はショックを受けた。
あと、俺なんかって言い方好きじゃない。相馬くんはイラスト本気じゃないの？プロになって一生続けようと思わない？
俺は決めてることがあるから。
決めてるって何が？
とっさに言葉が出なかった。彼女の覚悟の前ではなんだか俺の全てが薄っぺらく感じられたからだ。
ミヤちゃん、突っ込みすぎ。
はーい。
俺は光が強く望んだから生まれた。周囲の大人たちは彼女のために全てを俺に与えようとしてくれた。俺はそれを受け取るのが当然と義務のように感じていた。だから大人になったら彼らのために生きようと思った。でも
お前はお前の好きに生きていけばいい。
アキラちゃんは自分の好きなことをして、そして楽しい話をたくさん聞かせてね。
お前は期待されると、それが自分の意に反してても答えようとして頑張りすぎる。
俺が守ろうと思ったものは本当に家族たちの望むことなんだろうか。将来を期待してくれる茅野へ反発して俺は何を守っているのだろう。あっという間にデザインフェスティバル初日だ。そして会場の前にいる俺の手には今朝方までかかって作った白雪ハウスがあった。
ほんとありがとね、相馬くん。
ほんとごめんね、ミヤちゃん注文うるさくて。
ねえ、ほんと制作中は修羅場だったよね。任せるとか言ったくせにそこまで言うなら自分で書け。
書けたら自分でやってるわよ。
二人とも落ち着いて。
だってこいつが。
揉めはしたが二人の意識の高さや熱意に刺激を受けたのも事実だ。おかげで今までで一番気に入るものが書けた。とにかくこれ運び込んでセッティング。
あれ？相馬？田中も？もしかして参加するのか？持ってるやつ何？
村地君たちの 3D のデモに俺の絵使うんだって。
見に行かせてもらうよ。ブスは？
アネックスホールのパフォーマンスコーナーです。
俺はグッズコーナーにいるから。相馬も手が空いたら来いよ。
行けるかどうか分かんないよ。手伝いだってあるし。
ああ、大丈夫。設置しちゃったら相馬くんやることないから。
後でな、相馬。
勢いで参加したイベントだったが、手作りのグッズから本格的なデザイン作品と内容はかなり興味深かった。お祭りのような雰囲気に夢中になり、気づけば一緒に回っていたはずの村地君と うっかりはぐれてしまっていた。参ったな。メール送っとかなきゃ。
じゃん、これお兄さんが作ったの？
そう、これとこっちが俺のデザイン。
やっ
あれ茅野のブース。
すみません。
相馬来たのか。こっちおいで。
どうも。
ちょうどよかった。いろいろ見せたいものがあるんだ。
いいよ。
いいからっていうか助けて。冷やかし長いんだ。外の空気も吸いたいし付き合ってくれよ。
なんで肩抱くんだよ。なんか近いし。
なんだ相馬、暑い？顔赤いけど。
別に何でも。
アキラ？
しーちゃん？あゆみちゃん？何やってんのこんなとこで。
仕事だよ。お前こそ何やってんだ。それにそちらの方は？
相馬、どちら様？
俺の担任の茅野先生で、こっち相馬茂、父です。
茅野と申します。ご挨拶が遅れて申し訳ありません。
どうも、アキラがお世話になっております。
お召しいただきます。あれ、太陽と子供の顔のロゴってサボンジョビアルの社長さんですか？
ご存知ですか？
もちろん。天然素材の肌に優しい石鹸ってバカ売れじゃないですか。コンビニでも取り扱い開始ってニュースで拝見しましたよ。
実は新商品を出すことになったんですよ。それでサボンジョビアルのパッケージも変えろと言われたんですが、商品名もパッケージも息子にちなんだものなので、それだけは。サボンジョビアルは直訳すると明るい石鹸。アキラの名前である朗らかから取ったんです。このロゴもアキラが。
バラすなよしーちゃん。
あのロゴって相馬が描いたのか。なんで教えてくれなかったんだ。
子供の頃の下手な絵が流通してるなんて言えるわけないだろ。
自慢の息子の絵なんだけどな。
本当は社長、新パッケージの絵もアキラくんに頼みたいのよ。
そんな、俺なんかの絵じゃダメだよ。
そうだろうな。お前すごく嫌がったからな、昔。
そうなの？
パッケージは破いて捨てるだろ。自分の絵がゴミ箱行きになるのを見て大泣きして以来、俺には一切絵を描いてくれなくなった。
量産されるもの作るの自体なんか好きじゃないし。
なるほどね。
気が向いたら今度のパッケージも頼みたいんだけどな。
そんなの親バカって言われるよ。
いや、相馬くんはイラストレーターとしてとても有望だと思います。彼が参加した作品はご覧になりましたか？
へえ、なんだアキラ、参加してたのか。
いや、友達の手伝いで大したことをしてなくて。何言ってんだよ茅野のバカ。しーちゃんに期待されたら断ることなんてできない。あれ、俺なんでこんな。
どうしたアキラ、疲れたか？
大丈夫だよ。しーちゃんこそ仕事大変だろ。体気をつけろよ。
お前もな。
あと、あゆみちゃんこんなところにばっかり連れてきてないで、ちゃんとデートしてやりなよ。彼女サービスしないと愛想つかされるよ。
そうかな。
そんな、アキラくん。
デート？
まあとにかく俺らもブースに戻るし、二人ともまたね。
ああ、また。茅野先生、それでは失礼いたします。
はい、では。
じゃあ俺もこれで。
待て相馬、ちょっと話がしたいんだ。付き合え。
茅野に引きずられていったのは人気のない駐車場だった。なんだよこんなとこ連れてきて。
相馬、コンペのエントリーそろそろ期限来るぞ。書いたか？
この2週間はさっきの白雪ハウス作ってたよ。
小さい頃パッケージ捨てられて嫌だったからイラストレーターになるのを渋ってたのか？
いや、そんなつもりはなかったけど忘れてたし。
逃げの体勢でいるのは気の強い相馬らしくないと思ってた。
なんだよ俺らしいって。俺のことなんかろくに知らないだろ。
俺は俺なりに相馬を知ってるよ。忘れてるようなトラウマなら捨てちまえよ。ビビってたらちっちゃくまとまるだけだぞ。
怒った勢いでやってやるとか言わせようとしてても無駄だよ。なんでそんなに俺にこだわるんだよ。適当にしてればいいだろう。
そんなわけにいくか。
そうやって他人のために頑張りすぎたっていいことないだろ。トラウマ捨てろとか言って自分の方が前の学校。
お前何知ってるんだ？誰から聞いた？
伊勢さん、俺のおじの知り合いで。
ああ、どこまで何聞いた？
生徒がパワハラで先生がかばって揉めたって。あと夏頃自殺未遂の騒ぎがあったとか。
そりゃほとんどだな。そいつと付き合ってた話も聞いちゃった。
うん。
そんな顔するな。俺は相馬のおかげで吹っ切れたんだから。
え？
俺が付き合ってた相手イラストレーター志望だったんだ。公募も一生懸命応募していいところまで行った。なのにその賞金を講師に巻き上げられて絶望しちまった。
言いたくないなら言わなくていいよ。
聞いてほしいんだよ。それとも聞きたくないか？重たい？
うん、平気。
あの学校は本当にひどかった。生徒をアシスタント代わりにこき使ったり、抗議すると不当に単位を落としたり、指導する立場の人間が学生の金と夢と心を食いつぶしてた。当時は俺も血気盛んでね、学校側に抗議もしたけどどうにもならなくて、本当に辛かったのが生徒たちがどんどん諦めていったことだ。大人に裏切られて不正を見せつけられて気持ちが折れたんだ。
折れたのは生徒だけじゃなくきっと茅野もだったのだろう。見たこともない顔をする彼に胸が苦しかった。
しまいにコンペの賞金を渡すから単位よこせって言い出す生徒までいた。それが俺と付き合ってたやつ。どんどん壊れてすさんで、俺は本当に何もできなかったよ。
なんかかわいそうだ、あんたが。
ありがとう。
そんななのに先生辞めようと思わなかったのか？
思った。北の事件の時も本当に悔しかった。けどお前たちは、相馬はあの子よりずっと強くて、俺はそれが嬉しかったんだ。
俺？
しずるに何するって噛みついてきた時、まだ他人のために必死になる奴はいるんだって安心した。再就職できてよかったって思った。
そりゃ若いからって長いものに巻かれるばっかじゃないってことだよ。
そうだな。だからしつこくしちまうんだ。お前なら逃げないって証明してほしくて。俺は逃げた口だし、それを後悔してるから。
先生は仕事して恋しただけだろ。一生懸命やったんだ。それでいいじゃん。
簡単に言ってくれるなよ、俺の挫折を。色恋絡んだから余計しんどかったんだ。一緒に逃げようかなんてことも言ったんだよ。 今となっては何考えてたんだって感じだけど。
全部捨ててもいいくらいに好き。それってどんな気持ちなんだろう。恋ってそんなにすごいもんなのかな。
ん？
俺、ひかりちゃん、母さんに恋をしてねってずっと言われてる。けど言われすぎて何が恋なんだかよくわかんないんだ。
なあ、親に恋しろって言われるってどういうこと？さっきも父親にデートしろって、お母さんご存命なんだろ？
あれはいいの。あゆみちゃんはひかりちゃん推奨だから。
推奨？どういうことだ？
うちの両親幼なじみでさ、恋愛ってよりひかりちゃんがどうしても子供欲しいって理由で結婚したんだって。
誰かあなたを慰めて助けてくれる人ちゃんと見つけてね。私は子供を産めるだけで幸せよ。
だからしーちゃんはあゆみちゃんを見つけた。俺も納得してる。昔なんでパパにはママと違う奥さんがいるのって聞いた時、ちゃんと説明してもらったから。
うちはな、ちょっと変わってるけどみんな全員愛し合ってる。それだけは事実なんだ。誰も悪くない。アキラ、ママがつけたお前の名前は朗らかって意味だ。お前はそんな風に大きくなれ。
ひかりちゃんは俺らの支えなんだ。みんなあの人がいなかったら人間として壊れてた。しーちゃんは本当に仕事のことしか頭にない人だったらしいし、あーちゃんはゲイでかなり悩んでたみたいだし。
ゲイ？あーちゃんって？
相馬昭夫、うちのおじさん。今はすっかり開き直って、そういう人が楽にいられる場所を自分で作ってるけど。
それもお母さんの影響で？
ずっと病気と戦ってる相手に笑いながら幸せな恋してね、それを私に教えてねって言われちゃ毒気抜けるよ。だから俺、どんな相手と恋してもどんな生き方しても構わないんだって。幸せでさえあればいいんだって。
そう言ってくれる家族がいることこそが幸せなんだろうな。相馬は恵まれてるな。
でしょ？
会ってみたいな、俺もひかりさんに。
こんな話誰かにしたのは初めてだ。しずるにも言ったことがなかったのに、なんでだろ
う。お前は強いな。強いけど大人が無条件で子供を守る存在で、同時にそうじゃないことも全部知っちゃったんだな。
何？
子供の明るいたくましさって眩しいけど痛くなるんだ。けなげだなって思う反面、その子をそうさせたのは何かって考えるから。
俺別に痛くないよ。
本当に？
だって俺は笑ってないとダメなんだ。朗らかって名前つけられたんだから。みんなはもっと俺より大変だし一生懸命だし、そういう人たちがちゃんとしてるのに俺だけちゃんとできないのはダメだ。
相馬、
ちょっと変わってるだけだし、俺は何にも不幸じゃないし、だから。
でもそのちょっと変わってるが本人にとっちゃ一番大変だろ。
そういえばさ、個人的な話しちゃいけないんじゃない？
くだらない規定だけどね。まあでも俺はのめり込みすぎるから それくらいでいいかなって気はしてる。
のめり込みすぎるって？
惚れやすいんだ。すぐ肩入れして自分のことみたいに痛くなる。
惚れってどういう意味？なんでそんな目で見るの？なんで体中痛い。
俺はもう生徒だけは好きになりたくない。好きになっちゃいけないんだ。
いけないって決めるとかえって深みにはまるってあーちゃん言ってた。
お前たまに子供なんだか大人なんだかわからないな。相馬は恋したことないのか？
ない。
そっか。だからあんなに綺麗な恋の絵を描けるんだよな。暮れてきたな。遅くなるから戻りなさい。
そういう逃げ方好きじゃないよ。俺先生のこと好きになるかもしれない。
相馬だから
生徒じゃダメならあと1年待てばいいだけの話だろ。
同じことを言うなよ。
俺と俺じゃないやつのこと一緒にするな。
そういう意味じゃないんだけどな。
じゃあどういう意味だよ。
かもしれないとかそんな程度で振り回してくれるなよ。頼むから。訳も分かってないのにそんな目して見るな。今はコンペのことだけ考えて俺のことは忘れておけ。
分かってないって。だって分かんねえじゃん。そんな俺何にも知らねえもん。分かんねえし恋とか知らないし。先生ちゃんと教えろよ。デザインフェスタが終了し翌日は日曜日。俺はいつものようにほかげでアルバイトをしていた。初めての告白と失恋がいっぺんにやってきたせいで頭の中はまだ混乱していたが、それどころではない事態が俺に忍び寄ろうとしていた。コーヒー専門店ほかげです。
相馬さんはいらっしゃいますか？
俺ですけど。
鈴木法律事務所と申します。実はお母さんに大変なことが起きまして。車で追突事故を起こされ相手に重傷を負わせてしまいまして。
事故？
アキラごめんね。お母さんとんでもないこと。
これオレオレ詐欺ってやつか？
お母さん落ち着いて。
ふざけんな。ひかりちゃんが事故なんか起こせるわけないだろ。病室から一歩だって出られないのに。
それで示談金を。
待ってください。説明だけでも直接してもらわないと無理です。
被害者の方はすぐ対応してもらえるなら警察沙汰にしないと言っていて。
今はバイト中ですし。はい、明日の夕方5時池袋の西口公園で。それじゃあ。ひかりちゃんをネタにするなんて許さない。捕まえてやるんだ。
おいアキラ、何だったんだ今の電話。
ちょっとね。俺が強気なのは弁護士の伊勢さんに相談するつもりだったからだ。けれどバイトの後でいくら電話をかけても伊勢さんは全く捕まらなかった。おまけにタイミングの悪さは他にも続いた。
お母さん寝てるのよ。伝えておくから今日は帰って。
光の見舞いに行けば看護師さんに断られた。 自宅に戻れば店には臨時休業の張り紙が出され、あーちゃんに電話をかけても通じない。なんだよこれ、誰もいない。なんで家族の誰に電話をかけても連絡がつかない。嫌な予感を覚えた俺が理由を知るのはその日の深夜、父からの電話によってだった。ひかりちゃんが意識不明って、何それ、聞いてないよ。
昨日の朝から容体が悪くなったんだ。今は落ち着いてる。
どうして俺に教えてくれなかったの？
それが光の希望なんだ。本当に危ない状態じゃないならできるだけアキラには教えないでくれと。
なんで？
昔光の容体が悪くなった時、ショックでお前の方が具合が悪くなったことがあるんだ。それ以来ひどい時には耳に入れないようにしていた。
じゃあ今までも俺知らされてなかったのか。
とにかく今は大丈夫だから、また電話する。
急変したことを知らないまま死に目に会えなかったらどうするんだとは言えなかった。家に誰もいない理由が分かった。光の容体に過敏な叔父はショックを受け、伊勢さんのところにでも逃げたのだろう。だから連絡がつかないのだ。あーちゃんのヘタレ、しーちゃんも独善的だよ。ひかりちゃんは勝手だ。父には歩みがいて、叔父には伊勢がいる。俺は一人だった。
No, he's on thin ice right now with a lot of the... We have a morale officer in our guild, and things have not been going so well with the morale officer, which is kind of the opposite of what the morale officer is supposed to do. I'm not paying attention. I don't know if our healer had no mana or he's just not healing me. He probably just had no mana, and I'm probably griefing him. How did you depose the other guild officers from power? I basically exploited their vulnerability. The vulnerability the officer team had was saying that they don't care. And I exploited that vulnerability. Said, oh, if you don't care, I'll run everything then. If they had said I really want to, they care a lot, would have been hard for me to take over control. But I exploited the vulnerability that they could not admit that they cared. Now again, they also probably didn't want to. So there's that. The individuals in power sounded like they did not want to be in power. And it turns out I don't think they wanted to be in power. But that was my avenue of attack. Oh, I mean, if you don't want to, I'll do it then. Makes no sense if you don't want to do it, to do it. No more loot council. Yeah, we're rolling. We're a one-day guild. We pug if we're short. We don't have a... Those are all my core tenets. One-day guild. We are... No more loot council. We roll. No bench. We pug if we're short players. Mandatory fun. Mandatory fun. The guild will be enforcing a mandatory fun policy. We are not going to tolerate people in the guild that are bad vibes. If you're not having fun, you're not allowed in the raid. That's as simple as that. Mandatory fun. How much fun is mandatory? No, it's not. It's just like in Wrath of the Lich King. What happened in Wrath of the Lich King is our guild had a bunch of people in it who didn't want to be at raid, including me. If you don't want to be at raid, you're not welcome in the raid. Simple as that. Make it easy for you. Hey, you're not having fun playing? Guess what? You don't have a raid spot. That's simple. It's really as simple as that. Guess what? Take some time off. Someone comes to me and they start complaining, Black Temple again? Aren't you sick of this? Like, God, like, Black Temple sucks. All right, see it, you know, see you maybe never, you know. Take a break, bud. You're on the bench. Because in Wrath of the Lich King, every single day, every raid day was just constant complaining about how bad the game was, how no one wanted to be there, how they wish they were on a different game. It's like, all right, let's just, why are we playing then? It's especially disrespectful for the people investing time and effort to make everything run just to hear people complain. So yeah, fun is mandatory. If people are being bad vibes or complaining, they're not welcome in the raid. That simple. Work should be like, I mean, that's a good, I know you're joking, work should be like that, but that's like the whole point of like, this isn't supposed to be work. This isn't supposed to be a job. This is supposed to be like a fun hobby thing. And for a lot of people, it is a fun hobby thing. And a lot of people are having fun. So when you have a few people just like really bringing down the vibes, it's not like, dude, it's not good. Like, it's just not. How are you going to raid Hyjal if fun is mandatory? Again, there are a lot of things you can do in Hyjal. You can just joke around. I don't need people to write an essay that's 1,000 words on how Mount Hyjal is a good raid. While we are in Mount Hyjal, I don't want to hear the entire time how much Hyjal sucks. We get it. You think I'm stupid? You think I don't realize Hyjal is a poorly designed raid? I'm aware of that. What is the point of us discussing how bad Hyjal is right now? Because we discussed it last week. And we discussed it the week before. In the week before, like, look, you think I don't know about Hyjal's flaws, man? Yeah, vibe terrorists have to go, definitely. It's just 100% vibe terrorists have to go. Because again, that's what they are. They're vibe. You gotta take it in real terms. What is the real thing that's happening? You might think it as just a player's just sharing his opinion on a raid, but that's not really what's happening. What's really happening is an individual is complaining and making the raid environment less fun to be. That's all it is. Like, what's more important than like if someone did something bad in the guild with loot or stole something or did something disrespectful and it caused the guild environment to be negatively affected, that's pretty normal for people to be like, oh, that person should get in trouble within the guild. So you definitely should get in trouble within the guild if you are doing something that makes the game less fun to play for other people. But yeah, vibe terrorists are going to be slain. What happens when a pug wins something you wanted? I mean, it's not like we're requiring people to be robots. If someone loses a roll and goes, dang it, I wanted that roll, that's not bad vibes. Bad vibes is like losing a roll and crashing out and saying like, guess another week of no loot. It's the 3rd week in a row. Every week I get nothing. Why do I even show up? Like, okay, if we're saying that, all right, that's a vibe terrorist. See ya, you know? But if you're just like, oh man, you know, grats, I wanted to win that or something. Like, dude, who cares? But yeah, if you're like crashing out and freaking out over losing items, that is a vibe terrorist moment. Is that a lot? End of TBC Wrath, not that great. I feel like heavily depends on how frustrating the raid is and if Bruce's enough. Well, no, but again, if it's all about like, dude, it's like a relationship, okay? It's like a relationship, guys. Do you realize there are lots of people in relationships that have difficult lives that are not insufferable to be around? Okay, it is possible to have a difficult situation and not be insufferable. It is also possible to be in a good situation and be insufferable. There are human beings that are insufferable in all situations, or they take any situation and are insufferable, right? That is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people that when the raid's going well are really annoying. I'm talking about when the raid is not going well. They make it worse. That's what I'm talking about. It's really quite simple. I need to rebuff Mark, I think, on people. Simple solution to this. Let players play the best loot system all. GDKP is banned on anniversary. It is banned. What I mean is, will you give it to the pug? Yeah, of course. Of course, guys. I'm not going to ninja. That's another actually a reason why I wanted to be in charge. There was an incident in Classic I was not happy about. In Classic, tragic ninja looted. Classic anniversary. There was a ninja loot incident. It was not my decision. I was not in charge of it. I was there. I specifically did everything I could to try and convince the individuals to not ninja loot. Tragic ninja looted. In Classic anniversary, dude. They literally ninja looted. That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen under my regime, okay? We're not gonna ninja loot pugs. We actually ninja looted, dude. Like, actually. And the logic for the ninja loot was, yeah, we didn't say that this item was reserved, and yeah, we lost the roll, but, or I don't think we rolled it. Yeah, we didn't say this was reserved, but I want to keep it. Something like that. That was the ninja loot. Yeah, we didn't res the item. Yeah, we didn't tell the group that it was res, but I want the item. So it was ninja looted. Like, that's just, I was not the guild leader at this point. I was not really that much of a leadership position. This guy says, let's smack. Are we kiting or are we not kiting? Someone needs to make a call. This healer kind of sucks. Maybe we should kite. It was the Oni gem bag, right? No, it was a BOE. It was Maiden Circle? Blue BOE. Maiden Circle or something? Yeah. But again, like, dude. Why are we like, I don't want to be in a guild that ninja loots. All right. Just making it clear. I've seen a hardcore clip where the group didn't agree on how they were going to kill this boss, and some thought they was going to be kited, some didn't, and then they died. So I just made it very clear for our group, we are not kiting the boss, guys. We're sticking it. Old school style. Pump. 4-man. Believe it or not, this is the second 4-man I've done in a row. The last dungeon, I did an SM Cath, guys. I did an SM Cath. We had a priest in a group with no AoE classes. A priest pulled 8 mobs, wiped the group. I told him we don't need to pull 8 mobs. We don't have any AoE. And he just left the group. He just went offline. So, honestly, respect. The priest just runs down the entire group, pulls 8 mobs, wipes us. We already had a pull, by the way. It was 8 mobs in addition to what was already pulled. Eagle. Unlucky, guys. Did not get a... This is an armor ring, so it can be sometimes really good for bear, but we hit Eagle. It still probably is good for me, but I'm not gonna... I think I'm gonna pass it. I'm assuming our healer wants it. Yep, he wants it. Pass. Here's our greens. Make some bag space. Dude, when did my bags get so full all of a sudden? Weird. What are the rules on below the table selling loot? No one is allowed to sell loot within the guild. That's not allowed. Except me. I am allowed to accept gold and loot counsel an item to someone at my discretion. But individuals are not. No. It is not allowed to sell items for gear. Not at all. That's not okay. Do sexual favors between the guild members count as selling loot? Absolutely no sexual misconduct within the guild, man. That's not okay. You can't be doing any of that. Define misconduct. We can't be doing anything creepy. We can't be doing anything weird. Whatever consenting people are doing, if everybody's vibing, I don't care. But the problem is we're talking to WoW players. So, you guys are hearing, oh, what if two people are just buddy, and no, but we're talking to WoW players. So what really is going to happen is, yeah, there's just going to be some creepy stuff going down. I know TBC is a big draw, but I'm afraid I'll need to sit this one out. I mean, dude, I would sit it out, man. There's probably gonna be pre-nerf, man. Or post-nerf. Probably post-nerf, pointless. So no ERP and G chat, but whispers between consenting members is okay. Again, like it really depends. If I can't control what people whisper each other directly. But if I get told, hey, this dude is a creep, he's trying to ERP with me, that person is in trouble and might be kicked from the guild. We cannot have buddies in whispers trying to ERP with people randomly. That's because some people, this is the big thing I think a lot of people don't realize. I said this like last time, is like when guys joke about or meme about doing creepy weird things, it's not really a joke to the people they're joking to because they're doing it. It's like on, if you're playing Valorant or CS, and there's a girl in the group, and people go, girl, 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 they're joking. But does it really matter if they're joking? Because they're still doing the exact thing that a cringe person would do. So what's the point of it being a joke at that point? It's the same thing when sometimes people make uncomfortable or sexual jokes. It's like, okay, we get that you're joking, but what is the point of it being a joke if you said it anyway and you made people uncomfortable? At that point, it's not like, I mean, you can say it's a joke, but you've effectively, it doesn't matter if it's a joke or not. You've said something, you've made people uncomfortable. It doesn't really matter if you're joking or not. The whole point is you said something that made other people uncomfortable. Doesn't really matter. But yeah. What does improved Furor do? I mean, I don't have it. Gives you rage when you shift bear or cat. It's really nice, but I'm trying to get Mangle, man. And this thing I think is going to be good. The heal. I wonder how much healing I did in that. I only had 1 point, though. I mean, 10% of a healer? That's not that bad with 1 point. Although I maybe had a few rejuves in there, too. TBC. Anyone else like the Burning Crusade or just me? How many hunters is ideal in a 25-man comp? I mean, it just depends what the comp you're trying to run is. I think there's different comps that are ideal. I think you could run, for example, I think it's possible an ideal comp could be very physical heavy and run 3 physical groups and run 3 or more hunters. But for example, our guild comp is probably only going to run 2 hunters, and it's going to be built around a more diverse spread of classes for loot as well. So the optimal comp is you know, it can mean multiple things. It can mean what is the comp that is leading to the highest amount of DPS on a single target fight. It could be the boss that, or the guild that clears the raid the fastest, like a speed clear, killing trash quickly. Or it could be like a balanced comp that is like good for gear and stuff. We're trying to do a relatively normal balanced comp that is still like good. Miles is playing Hunter. Will this be your Feral tank? No, I don't want to play Feral. I don't really want to play Feral at all. I want to play Resto Druid on this character. I say that and I literally just tanked a dungeon as bear. Can you guys believe what that warrior just said? Am I insane, or that is just insane? I gotta find the whispers. Can I move my whole window here? How do I find my whispers? What was the guy's name? It's gotta be right here. This warrior DMs me. I cannot tank. He specifically, I didn't even ask him if he could tank. Oh, this is it. This is it. This is the DM. Okay, I whisper him. Olda, question. You see this? Olda, question. Response. I can't tank it though. Then the buddy types his main spec is tank in the middle of the run to roll need on a one-hander. What? How are you going to tell me your main spec tank? Ridiculous, man. Dude, how am I supposed to kill these level 50s? Go bear form. It should be fine. Anyway. Marksman Hunter. Oh, True Shot Aura, man. True Shot Aura is going to be big for us. From Marksman Hunter. Alright. Window Licker say anything? Spec Ops. I don't think a lot of people know about Spec Ops, man. Like, it's crazy. No one has any clue that I 100%ed Spec Ops, including River Fun Run. Hardest Spec Ops mission, easily River Fun. Actually, River Fun Run was pretty easy. Whatever. How many people from TBC days are actually coming back? I mean, a lot. One very important player. Oh, sorry. I need to calm down. I need to calm down. That was out of line. I apologize. How many people who played original TBC? We have a bear who played Hunter, but he quit in phase 1. But technically he played TBC. I played TBC. This person played TBC. This person played Wrath, but not TBC. This person played TBC. This person played TBC. This person played TBC. This person played Wrath, but not TBC. This person played TBC. Wrath, but not TBC. This person played TBC. This person played TBC. This person played TBC. 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 Okay, so let's count it up then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 people from original TBC. That's kind of crazy, isn't it? That's actually kind of crazy. Now, not all of them stayed the whole time. But yeah, 14 people who at some point played TBC with us. That's pretty crazy. Whatever, I'll just delete this all. That's actually a lot. That's a lot of people. 14 out of 25 original TBC players, and then another like 7 that played Wrath, and then like 2 new faces, kind of. And by new faces, I mean like friends of other people. Dude, how do we not pull any of these? Okay, I guess I'm gonna run away. Okay, so I'm gonna walk up. Oh, there's 3? Dude, I'm gonna be completely honest. I have no recollection of there being 3 of these. Whoops. I don't do guilds. Cosmic Origins is not available for guild, guys. Just if anyone was trying to get Cosmic Origin, he's not interested in you. Keep that in mind. He is not accepting offers currently. Dude, I've had this Water of the Seers in my bag for like 30 levels. I have no clue what it's from. Cosmic's on the ban list. Well, again, you got to remember about our dictatorship. A lot of people are creating ban lists, but I have to approve of the ban list for it to have any relevance. Now, if someone says that there's a player who should be banned from playing in the guild, they have a good reason, I could uphold the ban list, but you know, dictatorship, man. Dude, is this guy doing a different quest? Invite. Well, evaded one. Actually works. Pump Grebno. Pump. I'll turn it around for him so he's hitting it from behind. Which is actually a big deal when the mob is very high level. I'm holding threat, guys. I'm holding threat. Almost all TBC quests are just not elite anymore. Oh, he's a Grebno with some off heals. I can't taunt it back. I can't taunt it back. Pump. There's one. Sweet tie, he says. We're not done, bro. We still got more. Oh, we landed a fairy fire. Dude, I'm not doing any damage. You missed out on the chest? Yeah, the chest is going to be big for me. Does it have strength? I think it does. Fun fact, guys. Ferals want strength more than agility. Oh, it is agility. Unlucky. Nice. All right, we leave group. Can't believe you're NS. Actually, yeah, I'm a Night Slayer, man. For the Horde. Boosted player. How do you guys feel about the boosty discrimination, man? Dude, the whole boosty thing is so weird because it's like, I think this is my thing that really is frustrating is like, we've got this weird cycle where like Blizzard does something brain dead. Technically, Blizzard is the one at fault. But players are enabling Blizzard. So, for example, me continuing to play the game after Blizzard announces boosts kind of means that I'm okay with it to some extent. Not exactly, but like it's not a big enough problem that I will quit over. But we get this weird situation where somehow players are like flaming people who purchase boosts instead of flaming Blizzard. It's kind of a whole thing. When in reality, maybe the people buying boosts are allowing Blizzard to continue doing things like this, and maybe you could make some argument that they're furthering the problem, but it's really, I don't know, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing, man. It's a whole situation. But long story short is, Dude, the boost thing is crazy, by the way. It is crazy that Blizzard has banned boosting and sells a boost in the shop. That is actually insane. That is one of the craziest things. Yeah, you can't spit on people. The first time they let people boost, they disabled spit because people were spitting on people with the TBC mount that you paid for with the boost, the phase hunter. So they disabled spitting on other players because last TBC people were spitting on people for boosting. I mean, how would they catch you boosting? It's just right-click reportable. I really like leveling. I don't know why I would skip that experience. Actually pretty excited. Well, again, it's like, it's hard. It's because there's a lot of people who play the game socially. I understand that. I understand talking to an individual. You say, hey, bro, you should play TBC. And they say, okay, I want to play with you on TBC. How do we do that? And then their answer is, okay, pay for a boost, and then we'll be at the same level, and then we can play together. I understand that, like, for people who haven't been playing the game, that's like a way to get them caught up to like your friends' level, I guess, to some extent. But dude, there's a part of me it's like, man, boosting is it's not really fair, man. I was thinking about this too, of like, dude, this is an MMO. Losers are supposed to have the advantage. That's the whole point. But the problem is the losers aren't the ones with the money. The boomers are. So we're in a situation where like MMOs are designed for losers. Those are the people who keep the game running. Like losers are the ones running the guilds. Losers are the ones running the pugs. Losers are the ones selling summons everywhere, boosting, doing all these things. Like the losers are the ones, or the people who are financially, like literally it's their job, but that's a little different. But losers are the ones keeping this game afloat. But the problem is boomers are the ones paying the bills. And so it's this weird dynamic where some of these decisions Blizzard are making is clearly to help boomers, but it significantly hurts the losers. But again, the losers are the ones that are holding up the game. The losers are like, dude, if all the losers stop playing WoW right now, there would be no WoW. But at the same time, like those are the people who are punished by the boosting changes, because the losers are the ones who have leveled up characters that have all of their work and effort completely devalued because a boomer can just buy it. Like I've put a lot of work and effort into my characters, leveling, all these things. It kind of sucks that a boomer can just invalidate all of my effort in one press. Now again, I understand they want to play the game, they want to catch up, it's not that big of a deal, yada 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 yada. But the problem is, like in retail, leveling is not an accomplishment and it's really easy. So if you buy a boost on retail, who cares? It's really fast anyway. But classic is kind of about like leveling is kind of part of the game. And it's buying a boost is kind of cheating, man. Like I genuinely still am of the opinion of like, dude, if you buy a boost, you kind of don't deserve to have that character. Because you didn't earn it. You just bought it. I'm not saying it's pay to win. But I'm saying it devalues my accomplishment. You bought the boost? Well, hold on. I mean, come on. I mean, it's not like I can change things, you know. I'm just one person. Come on. I mean, but yeah, pay. I think. Are we saying the ship is sailed when the WoW? I mean, WoW token is not in WoW Classic currently, but it's in MOP. Sorry, it's not an anniversary, which is what the current realms are called. But it's probably going to come back. It's the same thing all over again. It's not like this is the OG release. But even, okay, but high fantasy, a lot of people boosting never had a 60 though. So it's not like, oh, I already did this once 20 years ago. I don't want to do it again. Well, okay, don't play WoW then, by the way. Okay, don't play it. Why are we, okay, just don't play the re-release of the game if you don't want to play it again. Like, I don't understand how that's complicated. Yeah, but I leveled 30 years ago. Okay, so don't play the game. You're literally, the whole point of playing a 20-year-old game is to do all the stuff again. Why are we like picking and choosing which things we still want to do? I mean, yeah, I straight up think the people who boost their character don't deserve to have the character. But whatever. I'm still going to be nice to those people. I'm going to play the game. It benefits me. I'll be completely honest with you guys. It benefits me that boosting is in the game. Because there is a tremendous amount of terrible players that are going to be playing TBC now that otherwise would not make it. And I look forward to playing with them. I look forward to playing with all of these terrible players. Because, yeah, they're going to be terrible and they're going to be fun to play with. So I am actually looking forward to playing with all the boosted players. I was doing some Battlegrounds. It's fun, man. It's fun watching these fresh boosted players who have no clue how to play the game. It's fun. It's fun, in my opinion, to play the game with bad players. I like playing the game with bad players. So I am completely fine with all the bad players that are going to be playing because of the boost stuff. Completely fine with it. I just think it kind of sucks that it devalues people who actually leveled and actually played the game. He's saying this now until he's in a 5-hour Kara. Dude, I want to play a version of TBC where people are bad enough that Karazhan can take 5 hours. That's what makes it fun, man. It's not fun if you just beat everything face roll. But yeah. Anyway. You said it because TBC is 58 to 70. That's what's being released. But again, but the problem is that implies that there's the old world is like dead. But that's just not how it is. I mean, there's a reason in original TBC. Oh, this neck's pretty good. There's a reason in original TBC why they didn't. Where's my disenchant button? I need to put disenchanting on my bar. There's a reason in original TBC they didn't just start Blood Elves at 58, man. They intended for you to play the game. Heads up, by the way, guys. Ready for a crazy thing? You guys ready for a real crazy thought? Who knows, guys? When did Blood Elves and Draenei release in original The Burning Crusade? Does anyone know? Let's ask Grok. In original TBC WoW, when did Blood Elf and Draenei release? Let's ask Grok. Alright. Where do we go in? I need to send away a bunch of junk. I'll figure out later which of this I want to keep and which I don't. Okay. I have so much junk in my trunk. Blood Elves and Draenei released with the Burning Crusade expansion. There was a pre-patch, but you could not create Blood Elf or Draenei until launch. Is anyone hearing this? Anybody? Is this news to anyone? You could not level Draenei and Blood Elf in pre-patch in original TBC. You know why? Because the developers of the game do not consider leveling to be not part of the game. So we say, oh, well, TBC is 58 to 70. 1 through 58 is not TBC. Okay. How come the developers of the game How come they felt like Blood Elf and Draenei should start at 1 and come out with launch? In fact, it's actually kind of genius because it causes the people in the 2 different places, there's less lag and stuff. Instead of everyone being in the Blood Elf zone, you've got a bunch of people in the Blood Elf zone. You got a bunch of people by the Dark Portal. So it helps with lag too. But anyway, the point I'm making is the original version of the game, it was considered part of the game to level, part of the game to quest. I'm telling you guys, the TBC leveling experience is good. It is fun. I think most people who attempted to play this would have fun. I think we have this assumption that we make that like the game starts at level 70 and you need to hit 70 fast. Like, dude, I hate to break it to you guys. A lot of the leveling I'm doing right now is more fun than being in Karazhan. Yet for some reason, we have this mindset about that's when the game starts. That's playing the game. And leveling is just something we have to do. And we wish we didn't have to, but it's just something we have to do. But like, dude, if we're being real, this is more fun than being in Karazhan. They still tried to make Azeroth part of the game in TBC with the dungeon interior. I get that they kind of disconnected the continent with Outlands, but like, dude, a lot of this stuff, again, this is all new TBC content, guys. This loot, this used to be green. This used to be a green item. All of this loot, I believe, used to be green. This boots used to be white, bro. This item was white. Like, TBC updated, added a bunch of quests. It changed the experience. It changed the dungeon levels. It changed the dungeon loot. It changed some of the big quest chains. It added quest hubs. There's a whole quest hub in Duskwallow Marsh. Like, this thing is called Mud Sprocket. Look at this quest hub. There's a new quest hub in Duskwallow Marsh called Mud Sprocket. Like, there's new content in the game. It's not like TBC just starts at 58 and there's nothing else. The game still exists. Yeah. They made DK start at 58. Yeah, and Wrath they did. But Wrath is a bad expansion, so we shouldn't take their advice on that. Anyway. Yeah, the elites are changed. But all I'm saying is you could not level